in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. That like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, real lady when she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. Tonight, we're talking about whether or not the Knicks, this team, can make the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll talk about Jalen Brunson, who was named Eastern Conference Player of the Month, whether or not he and Randall can lead us to the Eastern Conference Finals. And then lastly, has Tom Thibodeau earned a contract extension? Ooh. Let's get into it. Jerrell, Stafford, how you guys doing?
Salute, Steph. Salute, Steph.
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed, man. Shout out to you, Queen. Shout out to you, Jerrell. Shout out to the chat.
Yep.
Let's get it in, man. Smoking Nick was good.
Word.
Get it in.
Smoking Nick, thank you for joining us, bro. Like that, honor for you to share the screen with you again. Salute to the chat. Salute to all the football nerds out there. I got that New York Giants gear on. We started the combine today. I know a lot of people don't care about that, but I'm a football nerd, so at 3 o'clock, I was locked in to the NFL Combine today, watching linebackers just do drills and stuff for no reason.
Yeah, you know what? I'm out of the loop. I used to do that. I used to watch the Combine. I'm out of the loop, but I'll be on it tomorrow. I'm off.
Yep.
Definitely. Smoking Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Had a productive day, so I'm doing well.
What's up?
Thank you for having me. You know what I mean? Steph, you already know, a.k.a. the Queen. You already know the vibes. So I'm very happy right now. I'm not going to lie. I'm trying to hold it in, Listen,
I mean, let's start right. Let's start right there. Shout out to the chat, JJ, Nice, Kerry Cox, Silk Sutton, DJ Space Ghost. I think, do I got everybody? David L.
Yeah, Ajay in the chat.
Ajay. Yeah, Ajay. Oh, Ajay, I forgot to send Ajay. Come on, Ajay. You got to get on Twitter, man. Let me send it to you. Let me send it to you right now. I forgot to send it to him. But anyway, let's start with just how you feeling about the Knicks overall. 7-game win streak, playing well offensively, playing well defensively, getting support, shooting support around Brunson and Randall. So now it's even hard to double team them. We're making teams pay when they do that. How are we feeling about the Knicks?
How I'm feeling?
Yes.
Man, Steph, we've been talking about like this moment right here. We're about to go to the playoffs. We've been talking about this since before the season started. When we was talking about ceilings. Yeah. I believe I said 6 seed was the ceilings. Everybody thought I was crazy. But the reason we are the 6 seed aren't the reasons that I gave for us to get up there. But I did think that we was going to be pretty good this year because I believed in Jalen Brunson. That's why. And with his play, that's my point guard, man. I don't know what else to say. Like I've been saying it ever since we got here. I mean, ever since he's gotten here. So, yeah, his play. Randall is balling. RJ, hopefully, you had mentioned before we had started how RJ's his shot selection is getting a little better. He's getting less shots, but he's shooting at like a better efficiency clip. So yeah, we cooking with gas, man. Like the Josh Hart trade was a success, at least in the short run. Like he's playing so well, I'm already thinking about extension with him. Like we talk about Tibbs getting an extension. I already want to start and extend Josh Hart, and he's only been here for like a week and a half. So Yeah, we're on a 7-game winning streak, man. I'm trying to get the 4th seed now. We was talking about the 5th last week.
Last week, we was talking about the 5th. Now we're a game and a half out of the 4th, out of 4th seed. Yeah. Staffer, then Smoking Nick, how you feeling about the season so far? Or at least how we're playing recently?
I mean, Jerrell, nobody wasn't saying you crazy, bro, because we was all right there with you talking about the 6th seed. Even if you could remember, I was saying that how I wanted 3 All-Stars.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? We end up getting 2, but 1 was snubbed. Right. So right now I'm loving how we playing. It had a lot of doubters talking about we mid. You know who you are. I don't think you calling us mid no more. So we get in the national media now. You got people like WFN, FAN talking about us. You got the national ESPN talking about us. You got Get Up talking about us. You just got a lot of people just giving us that attention now. Because if you could remember, we wasn't that team, that was making that noise 2 years ago. Because right now we got more help to help out Randall. As Jerrell was alluding to, we got Jalen Brunson, we got Quickly, who has emerged into 6-man off the bench. Hopefully he get a lot of votes for that. The acquisition of Josh Hart, a real blue collar guy, do all the dirty work. And then we got Grimes that's emerging. He was in the Rising Stars competition. Last night he hit, I think it's 4 of 6 threes. So he all the things that we was asking him for, he's doing it. And then we just blowing out people, man. We blew out the Celtics, we blew out the Pelicans, we blew out the Nets last night. So you could see that we gelling. The offense is it's clicking. I think we top 10 in both offense and defense. And a lot of people, as Queen gonna say, is the last segment, but gotta give that man Tip some credit, man. You gotta give him, man. All of the talk about fire him last month. Now now they're seeing a different light. So I'm just love how the team is gelling, man. And yeah, I'm just loving it.
Yeah. Smoking Nick, thoughts on the Knicks this season and the recent win streak, or how they're playing recently?
I am super happy about what they've been doing recently, for the simple fact that if I know as a fan, we go crazy and we get hype, and sometimes, it's up and down. It's like a wave, it's a roller coaster, or so to speak. So sometimes when we ain't doing well, you want to panic quickly. But if you watch what they've been putting together and the pedigree of guys they've been putting together, then you can project what would really happen, right? So I always seen us doing good things and being a great team. And when we had our first run in the week, we had the 8-game run the first time, and that we talked about last night. We had that 8-game run, and I was like, yeah, this run is early, but if we could have it a little later in the season, I'm gonna like that as well. So I think that it's all culminating. It's like a cauldron, right? It's a bunch of ingredients that we putting in a pot, and it's making that stew taste savory and sweet right now. You know what I mean? Y'all can relate. So I'm just saying, at this particular time, everything in that pot that is starting to simmer, and it's cooking right, and we getting it exactly where we need to be. And my thoughts on the season, shout out to Tibbs, shout out to Jay Rand, shout out to JB, shout out to Quickly, shout out to Grimes. Everybody's contributing, and that's what you want to see on your basketball team. You don't want to always have these thoughts. And we've gotten everything we asked for, everything we speculated on last summer, we got it this year. So if you're still complaining and you're still crying about those things, and you still just want to create these narratives that Tibbs is this one way or the front office is another way, we know that's false, because everything y'all asked for, y'all got, right? And that's the problem. Sometimes you can't give people what they asked for, because then they're going to keep asking for more stuff. So as far as this season, I think third, not fourth, fam. I am Jerrell. Third, not fourth. We coming for them. We run up and we take everything. We don't just take what we could get. We take what's ours.
That's
what I mean.
That's what's up. I can't argue.
I'm gonna end it right there. I'm gonna land my plane right there.
All right, Ajay, just your thoughts on the Knicks this season, and particularly how they've been playing as of late.
So, well, first of all, salute to you, Queen.
Salute.
Jerrell, Stafford Don, Smoking Nick, and the chat, of course, the Knicks Nation,
brother.
And all that good stuff. Listen, man, the team's been playing well, man. It's been ecstatic. They've been, everything's coming together at the right time. Actually, not even at the right time, because everything's been coming together. We didn't end up 10 games over 500 because it's coming together now. It's been coming together for a while. Kudos to the players and Coach Thibodeau. And I know we're going to talk about Coach Tibbs, I guess, a little bit later on.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, he's definitely doing a good job right now. It's all clicking. And, one thing, the players, they never this team, they never stopped fighting. Even when they were losing, when they were losing all these games, they were losing these big leads in the beginning of the season, but they never stopped fighting. It just wasn't falling for them.
Right.
But it's just practice make perfect. So it's starting to come together right now for them. And yeah, the team's playing well, and we're gonna keep playing well. I think most of us on the panel kind of felt that the last part of the season was gonna be better.
Yes.
We discussed this, on the air and in the background. We kind of had a feeling it was going to be happening this way. So yeah, it's happening, and let's see where that goes. But Smoking Nick, I don't know about third seed though.
Third seed, my guy, you gotta have faith.
No, it's not faith. Mathematically, it's a little tough.
Faith, not hope.
Tough.
Faith, my guy. Those words have different meanings in the dictionary. Faith, not hope. Faith.
But the mathematics of it, though.
Yeah, mathematically,
would have to. Yeah, would
How
have.
many games are we behind Philly?
If we go 13-5 out of the next 18 games that we have left, right?
Depends on what Philly does, though, because they're ahead of us. So if they continue to play well, it's going to be hard for us to catch up. But if they start dropping, that's different.
What's Philly losing
They got
tonight?
us by 3.5 games. They're getting cooked right now by Dallas.
Philly's losing right now.
Trajectory right now. Their trajectory is on a downward arrow. You got to watch. Our trajectory is pointing. It's like the NASDAQ, right? Our stock rising and other people's stock is falling.
Our stock is green. Theirs is red.
but that's the same point. It's not just about the Knicks winning. It's about Philly losing.
I agree.
We got 4 games. 4 games behind them.
But listen, let's talk about whether or not the Knicks can get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, yeah.
This is not something that I would have thought so, and I can't even say that I believe it. However, it came up in the chat this morning, during the morning, recap show. And there was some, in there saying, why not? Why can't the Knicks make a run given how they're playing now and get to the Eastern Conference Finals? I want to check in with the chat. Don Pula or Puya. Hello, Steph. Let's not count our chickens until they are hatched. Getting out of the first round should be our focus for now. So there's some of the fan base that says, listen, we didn't even make the playoffs last year. It looks like we're going to make the playoffs. Let's get in there, play our best. The teams that we're going to face in that first round are probably better than us. There's no shame if we lose in the first round. And there are other Knicks fans that's saying, yeah, they're ahead of us in the standings because they peaked early. They got it going early. It took us some time to get it going early. But right now, we might be just as good or just a notch below. And I just want to point out before I get you guys' opinion and go back to the chat, including a super chat that I have, I want to talk about the record that we have against those who are ahead of us, right? So Boston, 2-1, right? The Knicks have beat Boston 2 out of 3 times. Cleveland, we beat Cleveland 2 out of 3 times. Philadelphia, tied 2-2, right? Now Milwaukee, who I just saw, is on a 16-game winning streak.
That ain't the same sandwich at all.
Oh my goodness. We lost to them all 3 times, but by 6, 5, and 4. Now, all of that being said, we've played, I don't think we see Milwaukee again. No. And they're a different team right now than they were when we lost to them those 3 times, meaning they're better. You know what I mean? So, but Boston, Cleveland, Philly, in terms of how we've played them this season, we're right here. We're right there. I will say, before I get to you guys and your opinion, the playoffs are a different animal. You're playing a team 7 times. They're making adjustments. You're making adjustments. There's no surprises, you know, and usually the team that win have those guys who down the stretch, you can put the ball in their hand and say, you know what? The offense is bogging down right now. We need a basket.
Right.
You know,
have those guys.
Yeah. I mean, but some people would argue that. I believe so. I don't know about those guys. I believe Brunson can do that. You know, right. Randall, let's see. This will be an opportunity for him to turn that narrative around in terms of coming through, you know, not just throughout the game, but in the, you know, in the crunch. But your thoughts on whether or not, well, let me read this super chat. While y'all think about your thoughts on whether or not you think the Knicks can get to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Let me get to this super chat. Eddie F., I appreciate you. Thanks for rocking with me and the panel. We really appreciate it. Yes, please. Let's talk more about the haters and how wrong they've been. Stephen A. not welcome on the bandwagon either. I mean, do you think Knicks fans are hating, or you think Knicks fans was just like, I've seen this before?
I just got a quick sidebar. Like, for all those that's always on the doom and gloom side, I get it. Y'all doomdays preppers. Y'all always worrying about the worst. And y'all got your little bunk ready with all your stock foods. I get it, right? You going to Costco every week, getting your toilet paper and stuff like that, right? But sometimes you got to look on the bright side and enjoy what's right in front of you. Like, whether we win or not, we have been winning, we have been competitive, and we have been relevant. How about we appreciate that before we look so far ahead? I get it. We thirsty for what we haven't had in, 50 years. I get that. But we can we appreciate the fact that we're actually in position to even have these conversations? That's why we having them.
Right. So what I was going to say is, I don't know if the Knicks fans are being haters. I just think that we've been through some things.
Yeah, doomsday preppers. You gotta prep for a bad day.
Hold on 1 second. So you've been through some things. So if you've been through some things, it takes you a while. You always thinking the worst. It takes you a while to come around. Now the Knicks had turned the corner a while ago, you know, and Knicks fans have been kind of slow to come around. Mitch went down. Oh, we're not going to win another game. We definitely going to the play-in. You seen the schedule? We got the hardest schedule, the second hardest schedule, the third hardest schedule.
The Dallas blowout.
Right.
You got to mention that too. The Dallas with Luka going 6-6.
Right.
You know,
the Knicks have met all of the challenges, and big up to Big Perk, who been on Kendrick Perkins, who been on the Knicks bandwagon early.
Salute to him.
I appreciate you, and let's hope the Knicks aren't peaking too soon. That's DJ Space Ghost. Let me let Jay Boogie in the building, and then we'll talk about whether or not we feel the Knicks can make the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Jay Boogie, how you doing? Just your quick thoughts on how the Knicks have been playing as of late. How you feeling?
Shout out to the chat. Blessings, health, and happiness to everybody rocking Shout out to the Queen, always doing what she's doing. Shout out to the chat, the most beautiful, most loyal, respectful people it is right there. That it is in the league. It speaks for itself. I don't have to say nothing about it. It's 10 games above 500. You know what I'm saying? 1.5 behind the guy who we ain't go trade for. You know, it speaks for itself. So, I think now is the time where actions are being shown more than what we're saying and we're talking about. And you got to, I mean, me personally, I appreciate that more than anything. The team is gelling, they rocking, they doing what they're doing, they're playing hard, and they playing together, they playing for each other. And you can't ask for anything more because a lot of us came into the season really not knowing what to expect. But now reality is seeking in that we really have a hard-working team that care about what they're doing. So they speak for themselves. Look at the record.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I agree with you, Keith Turner. The playoffs are a different ball game, but I just feel that this team is built for it. We shall see. We shall see. The proof will be in the pudding. But I just feel encouraged by our offense, our defense. We don't play a quick pace anyway, so I don't think there's a lot of adjustments that we need to make on the offensive end. We play ISO ball anyway, so I just think the way our offense is built, it's kind of built for the playoffs. And our defense is coming along. My only concern is they're going to double Brunson. They're going to double Randall. What is the other teammates doing?
Yep.
Right. That's what Brooklyn did. They doubled Randall sometimes in the second half after Brunson dropped 30. They were doubling him. But when he made the pass, Grimes came through. RJ came through. Those other cats came through. That's what we're going to need in the playoffs. Because if you don't have that, they're going to crowd Brunson, crowd Randall, and it's going to be hard for them to be successful. But anyway, let's go around. Thoughts on whether or not this Knicks team can make the Eastern Conference Finals, and why or why not, in your opinion?
I guess I'll go first. Sure. Like anything is possible. I'm not gonna say that we can't do something. The only team I think that we don't match up well is the Bucks. So if we, get to the finals against them, I can see us beating anybody else in a 7-game series. But I think that is definitely predicated on RJ and Grimes. If they can hit their shots and they can be efficient, yeah, I think we'd be cooking with gas then. Like we're a completely different team when they're on. Like we saw the last game with Grimes is hitting his shot like that. We're very, very hard to beat because that means that they can't double team Brunson or Randall. So yeah, I think we can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. It just all depends on what our role players do, just like you said, Steph.
Yeah. Stafford?
I'm with Jerrell too. I think the only team that's standing in front of us is Milwaukee, because I think if we get that Cleveland matchup, I do think that we could defeat them. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, he's a good player. He's a star. He could take a team on his back. I get it, but I don't think the other guys around him have the experience and the trenches to really take it to the next level. So I think we got one up on them, and I think if we do get through Cleveland, Boston is gonna our next matchup, and I think we could definitely match up with them. And we have seen that we are a great road team. I think we could go into Boston and at least steal one, and then come back and defend home court. And I guess probably, if Game 6 was to come, I think we could beat them in probably 6 games, and that will lead us to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Bucks. So I really think, as what Pudge Knight said, I really think it depends on the matchups. I think if we do get Cleveland, we could beat them, and I think in a Boston matchup is going to be a dogfight. But I do think we have the edge on them. I just think we just got a nice puncher's chance giving our team hope to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think we could get there.
Yeah, yeah. Keith Turner says, y'all just totally disrespecting and overlooking Cleveland and Philly like they were a walk in the park. I don't think they're a walk in the park. And I don't think we're disrespecting them at all. But at the same time, you got to look at your team as well. You know, I know it's the regular season. We beat Cleveland 2-1. We tied with Philly. We played them close. Obviously, they have more playoff experience than the Knicks. And that's a concern that I have. That we're a very young team in terms of playing together. We're a very young team in terms of age. We don't have a lot of playoff experience, you know, so they will have that on us. But we got some dogs on this team. So I'll take my chances. You know,
Can I just say one more thing when you're done, Queen?
Yeah.
I mean, when I see statements like that, what Keith Turner says, I feel like you're not even giving us a chance. You just because Philly and Cleveland is on top of us and they got the stars that they can be defeated, right? I mean, I'm not questioning your fandom, but I'm just saying, at least you got to have some type of hope in your team, bruh. As Queen said, you know what I mean? We're not overlooking them, but for goodness sake, you know what I mean? Give us a chance, bruh. You know, anything is possible in this league. That's all I'm saying. Just give us a chance before you say we doubting, we overlooking them. Because you could see it for yourself. In the beginning of the season, we wasn't looking good. Right now, we rolling over and steaming over teams by 20 and 30. You know, coming at the right time. So all I'm saying, bro, just give us a chance. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Smoking Nick, and it's your turn as well in terms of your thoughts on whether or not the Knicks can reach the Eastern Conference Finals.
In short form, I do think we can make the ECF, and in long form, RJ has to find that last infinity stone so we can get there. You know what I mean? He's the key. You know, he's the soul stone. We need to find his game, and then it's going to take us as far as we need to go, because at this point, we ain't been relying on him. He's been enjoying the ride. He just been on the back of the truck, so to speak. So if he positions himself more forward when our two main stars ain't got it, then he's the key to us going as far as we can go. So if he finds that soul stone, I definitely think we can make the ECF.
Okay. All right. And listen, RJ has been playing well out of the All-Star break. I think I have his his numbers here. So 4 games since the All-Star break, he's averaging 16 points on just 12 shots a game. You know, he's shooting 45.8% from the field, 57.1% from the three-point line, and 80% from the free throw line. You know, so, you know, maybe I know there was some in the chat who said, you know, if he brings the number of shots he takes down, takes better shots, maybe his efficiency will go up. And these 4 games, at least on the offensive end, you know, he's producing much better. Ajay, and then we'll get into what the Knicks need to do to actually get to the Eastern Conference Final.
Right. So the answer to that is just yes. Of course they can make it. Maybe the road may be tough or easy depending on how the brackets fall. But yeah, the Knicks can. And RJ, the way RJ is playing right now, I don't even think he needs to get better. The way he's playing right now, the way the team is playing right now, we can get there like that, the same way. I want to say one quick thing. A lot of people want Cleveland, think we have a better shot against Cleveland. I think we have a better shot against Philly. We could talk about that later, but I think Philly is a better matchup for us because of Cleveland's length and athleticism and their youth. I think in a 7-game series we'll be in trouble. Not that we can't beat them, but you know it's going to be tough. But yeah, to answer the question, we can absolutely make the Eastern Conference Final. The good thing about it is when the way the brackets are shaping up right now, we only have to meet Boston or Milwaukee, and not both. So either or. And
Right.
once we get to the ECF, anything can happen, man. We might be going to the finals too. Who knows? A little twisted ankle here, like a little broken finger there. You never know.
Listen, many teams have won championships that way when the key player on the other team has
never know.
Has been injured or nicked up and couldn't play up up to their potential. That's just part of it. That's just part of it. Jay Boogie, your thoughts?
I'm gonna stick with how I felt this morning when I woke up, and it's gonna carry on for the rest of the season. I'm in championship mode until we eliminate it. That's where I'm at. I woke up this morning feeling like that. I'm gonna continue to stand like that until the Knicks do not have another game. I'm gonna be in championship mode, and I hope the New York Knicks are feeling the same way. They should be in championship mode. Look far as you can go, and strive to reach what the impossible. Because the smaller things that we asking for, we can go by them if we reach further than that. And what I'm starting to find out more than anything, it's a lot of teams right now over the last 3 weeks are not able to match up to us. We need to stop thinking about how we're going to match up with other teams and everything. And in their mind frame, a lot of them don't want to match up against us. The way we cooking and we clicking on all cylinders, and they don't know what they're actually going to get from us that night, but they see the potential. A lot of teams do not want to play against us right now, because we're cooking, we on fire, and we're coming together at the right time. So I look for Cleveland. Philly keep doing what they're doing. I look for Cleveland to try to get up out that fourth spot and try to go catch Philly, trying to get out of Dodge. I think Cleveland don't want to play us. That's how I feel. They don't want to play us. And when you talk about the arm lift and all that, we already prepared for anybody that got long lifts. We already prepared learning and going through those tight play games with Toronto. That's why when they was talking about the limp coming in with New Orleans, I saw right through it. We used to the long limps, you know what I'm saying? We go through certain things and they learning stages forward, and we carrying it over to the other game and remembering what we went through and what got us here. So right now, it's a lot of teams, man, that's scared of us, man. And I'm going to continue on listening to the other networks talking about what we doing, how we looking, how Julius is playing, how Brunson is playing, how Tom is coaching, you know what I'm saying? It looks like the office is pushing the right buttons, you know what I'm saying? That's what I like to hear. And if I got to listen to the other ones say that, I'm going to continue on listening to it. But I know there's a lot of teams out there that's in this playoff run that don't want to play the Knicks.
I second that.
Yeah. Any concerns about the Knicks being a young team? Any concerns about the Knicks not having a lot of playoff experience? Any concerns about whether or not Brunson and Randall can continue to play the way they're playing now in the playoffs?
Not for me, because we made the playoffs. Most of the people on this team was on the team 2 years ago when we made it. And Brunson went last year and cooked in the playoffs last year. So, no, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
I think Tom Thibodeau is the key for that. I think he's going to have them mentally prepared, especially. He's going to make sure and go over film with them and see what they need to do and what not to do. And I think even though experience is a good thing, but I think the preparation going into these games is very important. And I think Tom will have them ready to go in that particular situation. So I'm not really worried about the experience. I just think it's how you're going to prepare and how you execute in the game. And I think Tom is an excellent person when it comes to putting together the game plan to go against these teams. So I'm not worried about that. I think Tom is going to have them ready, especially mentally ready to go.
Yeah, let me just say this because we can add this to it. Kevin Bergen said the only thing I'm worried about is Tibbs adjusting. So I agree with you, Staffer, in terms of that initial preparation, in terms of the mental preparation, in terms of them being able to break down the team and know what they're supposed to do. yes, the Knicks will be super duper prepared. The question becomes, a lot of times it don't go as you planned. You know what I mean? And you
Right.
got to make an adjustment within the game. And that's something, at least in that first series, many of us thought there were some adjustments that could have been made in that Atlanta series. I'm not saying we would have won it, but there were some adjustments that could have been made that weren't. You know,
Well, Queen.
add that to the question. Hold on, just want to add that to the question as people are thinking about it. Any concerns about Tibbs as well? Just adding that. Yes.
Well, as far as the adjustments, I feel like you see in Tibbs, I ain't gonna say turn over a new leaf, but you have seen him now make the in-game adjustments. You know, you see now that he has left certain particular players in the game to rock out, so the starters or the bench could have a good rest. You see him make adjustments by taking out RJ and putting in my guy Josh. So he has made, so I'm thinking he's improving on those in-game adjustments. So I'm not really worried about that. I think now his stubbornness is kind of going away just a little bit. You know, he's going to always have his philosophy, but I really do think that he is going to make the right adjustments when it needs to, and we have been seeing that in the past. I should say, let's say, last 20 games.
Okay. Anybody else want to comment on any concerns about going into the playoffs and get into the Eastern Conference Finals?
No concerns. There's one thing people don't talk about enough. Okay, when the playoffs gets here, that's when the dogs come out. Like the guys who are not super skilled but have that dog mentality and have the game IQ. That's when they come out and perform. We have quite a few of those guys on our team. So I mean, Tibbs gonna prepare them, but I think those guys are gonna be prepared no matter what. I mean, they're looking. They can't. Those guys can't wait to be in the playoffs to get in that dog fight. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for. And I think we're gonna get it when the playoffs start.
Right.
And shout out to Eddie C, who's bringing up a good point. Appreciate you, Costa Rica. Tibbs has more tools in the tool shed this year compared to 2020 and 2021.
That's true.
I know a lot of times on the defensive end, maybe not so much this year, but last year I was like, you know, I wish we would trap more. I wish we would. You got to have those type of, you know, you have to have those type of players to do that. You have to have players with defensive IQ to be able to move from your base defense and do, you know, and do different things. You know, hopefully, you know, to Eddie C point, we have that this year. I noticed in the Philly game, this is the first year I saw that when we were trapping Embiid. And this is something that I wanted to see. You know, get the ball out of the best player's hand. Let's see what the other, you know, what his teammates can do. In the first game, they didn't play well, and we won. The second game, we did the same thing, and Embiid passed it, and Maxey and Niang came through for them, and they won. But still, you want to see it, you know? So you're right. We got Josh Hart. He's a great tool to have, you know, in the tool shed. So maybe we will see
we got a point.
Some adjustments, and we have a point guard. Yeah.
Hey, real quick. I think we get ready. I think a lot of people get ready to be shocked on how Tom is going to, you know, be on that sideline, and I already feel like he's getting ready to put his best foot, his best effort, and he's watching and he's taking notes and he's visualing things at this moment right now. And reason why I say that, you know, when you work hard to do something so much in life, you know, in your mind frame, you feel like you're doing a good job or a great job. But until somebody come to you and tell you, hey, yo, you're doing a good job, that's what means the most. And you saw that last night at the end of the game when Brunson was going out. As he was going by his coach, he reached back to him, tell him, good job. He stuck his hand out to give him some dap. And it shocked Tom. But then he went to go give him some dap, and you saw him with a smirk like, a relief was like somebody like really appreciate what I've been doing. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to stick with Tom more than anything. Keep thinking Tom is not no dummy, y'all. He's not. He got a lot of experience and he knows what he's doing. But when he's doing it, the certain moments and all that, you know what I'm saying? That's where he got to click at. And he got the hardest job because he has a long roster. You know, 9-man rotation. Now you got a 10-man. Tom can go as deep as he wants, but he got to fit it and make it all work. And Tom has the hardest job. And he's doing a very good job with it, I think.
Yeah, I think we're a better team than we were 2 years ago when we made the 4th seed.
Yes.
Everybody that was on that team is a better player now, and we didn't have JB or Josh Hart or Grimes. So yeah, like I'm optimistic. Like I'm looking forward to the playoffs. See what we do. I know like Randall has got to be chopping at the bit to get back. So is RJ. They got to because they like last year was a failure for them. So yeah, they should be on it. We should have a good show, especially in the first round. I think we're definitely getting out of the first round. I don't care who we play.
Hey, all right.
Hit that like button. Hit that like button.
Come get some.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to jump out of the window, you know, us winning 7 games, but you could see how the Knicks have developed. Because remember, when we went on that 8-game win streak, we're seeing some of what we're seeing now, but they weren't able to hold it.
Right.
It was a streak. They weren't able to hold it. Now on this 7-game win streak, you can see the defense is better. The offense is better. Now, when I say the offense is better, the Knicks are playing the same offense.
Mm-hmm.
What we're seeing is a willingness to pass the ball. And what we're seeing is them reading the defense better, making the right pass, and guys are finally hitting shots. I mean, come on. I'm passing. You missing. I feel like I can make a contested shot and get off a better shot than these guys who are not hitting wide open shots. Right. So I think that generates trust when you give up a contested shot that you feel like, I can make this shot. But I'm going to pass it out to this guy who's wide open and he hits it. Now you're feeling like I can trust this guy now. So I'm not going to even take this contested shot that I know I can hit. I'm a pass it out because he has an easier shot, you know, and that's what we saw against Brooklyn. Grimes came out. I'm not expecting Grimes to shoot lights out like he did, but make half of them, you know, make 35% of them. Because if Grimes is hitting that 3, it changes the game. It changes the game. You know, same thing with RJ. Yep. If RJ is hitting it, listen, RJ, you ain't got to do none of that other stuff. We don't need you backing all the way up to half court so you could come downhill. We don't need none of that. If he can hit his catch and shoot 3s that he's getting off Randall and Brunson, that changes the game for us. Because that's going to give, first of all, Brunson and Randall confidence to pass the ball to them. But second, is going to give them space. And in the playoffs, things get thick, things get tight. Everything is harder. Mm-hmm. So if you hitting 3s and giving them a little space, they can cook.
Yeah.
And Queen, real quick, like one of our biggest dilemmas this season is we didn't know what to do when they play zone defense. If guys are hitting a shot, that takes that right out the equation. I mean, that's the best zone buster. You know, hit your shots. So, and I can guarantee you in the playoffs, other teams that in the beginning of the games they're gonna try to zone us down and see what happens.
Yes.
If we hitting shots, that's, you know, they're gonna try that.
Yeah.
Very early on.
Yeah.
So.
That's his job. That's his job. He has to cover it and hit the 3. He don't have that luxury of you know, sometimes you have your star players, they can take, you know, possessions off on the defensive end.
True.
But as a role play, that's your 3 and D.
Steph, I got a quick update. Philly just lost.
There we go.
And their next game is the Bucks on Saturday.
All right. All right.
Good.
So
All right. Let me read this super chat by Josh. Appreciate you. Hate to bring this up. Sacramento is having the best season in 17 years and nobody cares. New York getting all the kudos. Goes to show you that the perceived media bias is going both ways. Winning in New York matters. I hear you, Josh. All right. Any more thoughts on the Knicks going to the Eastern Conference Finals? Let me just shout out the chat. Kerry Cox, yes, Grimes must stay hot. Yeah. Pudge Nice, Randall should be a zone buster in the middle. With that zone, whip that ball around.
Mm-hmm.
They holding the ball too long and allowing the defense to adjust. And when you get the ball right in the middle, because that right in the middle foul line area is open, that's where you get an opportunity to rock. Ramrock, if Grimes continues to be hot like that, other teams better watch out. That's the only thing. Do we have in the playoffs a consistent knockdown shooters that's going to be able to play off of Brunson and Randall? Because trust me, they're going to be throwing the kitchen sink at those two guys.
Yep.
Queen, that the Rising Star Challenge, I told y'all last week, it gave Quentin Grimes all the confidence he needs that's all he needs. Like
the smoking he was out? I'm sorry.
Yeah, he had dropped out.
He dropped out. Okay.
He just came back. Yeah, that's all the confidence Quentin Grimes needed, man. Play off or not play off, he's confident. He's not going to have a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys trust Grimes in the playoffs. Yeah, trust RJ in the playoffs, and you trust Tibbs in the playoffs.
RJ trusts Grimes in the playoffs. I have yet to see Grimes in the playoffs, so no, I don't trust him yet.
I trust him. I trust his defense, and I trust him to hit a couple of shots when needed in the playoffs. Yes.
I'm with CSK too. I trust Grimes too, man. I really think that Rising Star game did give him all the confidence, and last night was one of those nights where he was just cooking. So I said it all the time, if we get him more involved and have him taking shots, I think he's going to make those shots when we needed him. So and he always make big shots in the fourth quarter. I think we had a stat like that, where he's in the last 5 minutes or something like that, when it comes to threes, he's hitting them at a decent clip. So I do trust Grimes, man. I think he could really do some damage for us in the playoffs when it comes. But as always, we got to see it. But I believe that he could do it.
We talked about Grimes and RJ. Nobody's talked about IQ and Hart.
I forgot about that.
Like
those guys too.
Them two are definitely going to have a major role in the playoffs, especially IQ and Hart. Like those two, I know our whole bench is going to, but Josh Hart and IQ, that backcourt coming off the bench, that's going to be major for us.
But I think to your point, Jerrell, I think we don't have to talk about them because they're already solidified. If you understand what I'm saying, we already know what those guys is going to bring to you on a nightly basis. Quickly with the defense, the instance offense when he comes off the bench. Josh Hart with the tough defense. Sometimes what he doesn't show on the stat sheet, but the greediness and the griminess to be everywhere when it matters, the big steals and all of that. So I really don't think if we don't bring them up, we already know what they're about and what they're going to bring on a nightly basis.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe that's why we haven't brought them up. But I'll bring them up and say this. You're absolutely right. Because if Grimes is not hitting his shot, we have options now. Like Eddie C was saying, we got more tools, in the toolbox, so to speak. So if Grimes is not on, you could play Hart more minutes. If RJ is not on, you could play Josh Hart more minutes. And the same thing, with IQ, and don't be surprised in the playoffs if we have to dust off Derrick Rose or dust off a Fournier. If it seems like these other guys are looking a little shook and the moment is too much for them, we might have to dust them off. Right. hopefully not, because they haven't played, and I can't tell you how long.
Right.
But we have
got to stay ready.
We have to.
They got to stay ready.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, do you think the Knicks are on the verge of being championship contenders? And just as an organization going forward, do you think we're on the verge of being championship contenders?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wow.
I am Jerrell. Yes. Look how long we've been irrelevant. I lived through the pain, right? And y'all know y'all lived through the pain, obviously. But I was young, and all I knew was the Knicks, and I lived through all those bad seasons, and I'm still a Knicks fan. Y'all got some hope. When I was young in '90, I was like 6 or 7 in '95, probably like 8. So I didn't feel the impact of it like y'all would have, right?
Right.
It was different. My era is Isaiah Thomas ruining our team, giving Eddie Curry $100 million. It still haunts me to this day. Having Jamal Crawford and not cultivating that. Stuff like that bothers me, right? But at this particular point, I'll move on. At this particular point.
Because the question is, are we I get that.
Yeah.
But right now, are we close to being, and by that meaning perennial? Like right now, we're talking about we can get to the Eastern Conference because of the matchups, and we've kind of played those guys well, and Randall and Brunson is playing well. But when you're talking about being a championship contender, basically you're saying perennially,
I'm gonna say
you're in that conversation every year.
I'm gonna second Jay Boogie's notion. I don't think we need another star at all. I think we just need another person that's gonna fit in to what we trying to do cohesively, and we could beat one of those teams because we outplay and we out hustle and we get to the 50-50 balls because we wanted more. People act like that's not a possibility in the NBA, and their stars just automatically just gonna win these championships. It's because most of these dudes in the league don't got no heart. So if we play with the heart, because we got 2 hearts in our squad now. So if we play with that kind of heart, you know what I mean? A heart on the right and the left side, right? Then we can go as far as we feel we can go. It's not just a feeling. Like, they just gotta play as hard. Anybody can beat on any given night. It's not written in Sanskrit or stone that these dudes are just gonna automatically beat us. No,
that's true.
It's not.
That's true. But we're not talking about on any given night. We're talking about a 7-game series.
Yeah, and we can figure it out. You don't think we can figure it out, Queen?
I mean, I think listen, for me, the jury is still out on whether or not we need another star.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see Randall and Brunson in this playoffs.
Right.
Because if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, that's telling me that those guys are it.
Right.
And if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals with those 2 guys balling out, the less we need.
Right.
Right. And if they taking us that far, how much do we need? If we get bounced in the first round and they look terrible,
I think
I'm gonna be like, I think we need a bigger piece. So I'm waiting for the playoffs for me to make a decision about whether our next piece needs to be just a piece that fits, or if our next piece needs to be a star. I think that question is going to be answered, in my opinion, in the playoffs.
Wayne, well, I beg to differ, because look at the Atlanta Hawks a couple of years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
They made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Final, right? Yes. And in their minds, they felt they just need one more piece that fits, that, and then that was it for them. So
but they didn't add anything to their team. They thought they didn't make any changes. The general manager said that he wanted to give that team an opportunity to go back. They didn't make any changes.
I mean, in my opinion, either way, we need to, find somebody that fits what we're doing, but of a higher caliber.
Who's that person, though?
You need to start no matter what. Don't even wait. You don't need to see in the playoffs. You're saying
no. You're right. how they perform in the playoff will determine what caliber player. Like,
Right.
you know, it could tell you whether we're Devin Booker away or Ingram away or, you know, somebody. It will tell us.
Mhm.
But we will need to probably make adjustments. We have to make some sort of improvements.
Yes.
We can't just, you know, we can't do like the Hawks and just think the same group is going to take us one step further the following year.
Right. Shout out to my sister. Appreciate you hopping on. She ain't into the Knicks or whatever, but I appreciate the support.
That's what's
I mean,
up.
I really feel like, and I said this before, I saw Sim said it before, Pete Turner have concerns, JJ have concerns, and I will continue with that concern too. And I think the real X factor is RJ. RJ can bring what he can bring as a third option. I don't think we need nobody else. I think if RJ
This
does
season,
really
or
have
just in terms of just being a championship contending,
just being a championship contender. Yeah, I'm rolling with Smoke and Nick and Jay Boogie on this one, right? I think RJ is the X factor in all of this because, you know, we have all these doubts of how he's playing right now. And if he has a breakout playoff and he's one of the catalysts to help us reach to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's a whole different ball game going from years to years because we got our guys. I don't think Leon, we might probably tweak one or two little things, but I really feel like RJ is the X factor in all these things when we say that we are going to be a championship contender. I really, really think so.
Right.
All right.
You know,
I agree with you, Stafford.
Let me say this right here, because with I was doing three things at one time when Paris Douglas, you know, made that comment, you know, early this morning. So I super chatted back on it, you know what I'm saying, just to give a point, you know, somebody can understand where I'm coming from. And I made a mistake with that comment that he had made when I was going along with what he was saying and everything. Me personally, roster is still to be determined, you know, and it starts with this playoffs right here. If we go in here, as Queen just said, if we go in there and we get eliminated badly, like 4-2, even worse, 4-1 in the first round, and we playing a fourth seed, if we're not playing Boston, Philly, Milwaukee, if we go out like that, any of these other teams, then we're going to have to make some drastic changes.
Right.
We're going to have to do that. Now, on the other side of it is, if we go in there and we get to the second round and we just want a nail biter, game 6 at the crib, and we know we going in your house, game 7, and the pressure's on you because you got to win because you're supposed to win, then guess what? We done a great job getting to that second round. We got a good team, but we still might be one piece away. But the great thing about us being a piece away or not is Leon has himself in a great position to knock on James Dolan's door. James already said loud and clear, this team better be in the playoffs. And since then, this small words James Dolan spoke out said, the Knicks ain't playing no games. He smallly said that right there. He got right back out of the way. I want this team in the playoff. So what that tells me, if James wants this team in the playoff and you put his team in the playoff and we go on a little run, but we at the point where we really need something else, he's in position to say, yo, you're going to have to spend that money and go over that tax. You know what I'm saying? To go get something. I'm going to figure it out how we can come here and bring somebody here so that way we can sign and figure out and sign them back to the team, you know, because they say, you know, you can go over the cap when guys is over here or whatever. Leon will be able to figure it out. But this first round playoffs is going to tell a whole lot about this team. I'm anxious to see it, and I believe Julius is going to turn all the way up. I believe you know what I'm saying? A lot of people coming into the season, they was like kind of like roll them off. Okay, now I changed and I turned back up. and now y'all rocking with, but you still got the other ones throwing this whole season away. As good as it's looking, y'all don't mean nothing. I need to see what you're going to do in the playoffs, big fella. And that's fair. That's fair. Everybody got their rights, their own to their opinion, but we still to be determined, man. And I'm gonna stay like that. I'm in championship mode, so we get eliminated. I think they can go all the way until they get stopped, but we still are to be determined, and I can't wait to see it.
Right. I mean, I think Ajay made a good point. Even if we do go to the Eastern Conference Finals, do you stay pat as a team?
No.
I don't think so.
No way.
It's hard to get over that hump. Even when you become contenders, look at Philly. They've been contenders for like 3-4 years right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't gotten over the hump. So even when you become contenders, it takes a lot to get over the hump. It took Milwaukee a few years. They were contenders for a few years before they got over the hump. So even if we do get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I don't know if we can say we don't need anybody, or we don't need a star, we don't need a high-level player. Look at Boston. They got Jalen Brown and Tatum. When KD became available, they was ready to put Jalen Brown on the chopping block.
Right.
Always trying to upgrade. Let me just, JJ, can you really call it a failure if we lose to the Cavs in 7 games in the first round? Thoughts on that?
No, I wouldn't say
you can't lose to them Cavs, man.
Yes, it would be a failure.
Wow.
Yeah, we cannot lose to the Cavs.
Because of the Donovan Mitchell trade that didn't go down. There's a lot of backstories to that. So losing to that guy in that team is a failure.
What if somebody else on the team beats us and he's not a factor?
Yeah, it's a team game.
It's not a failure, man. You got to look at it holistically. I look at it in one view, whatever view it is, right? But like, that's not a failure. If we lose and it's a tough series and we lose on a bad call, y'all gonna still say it's a failure because we didn't trade for Donovan Mitchell?
Well, chances are he's gonna ball out.
I wouldn't say that smoke. I wouldn't say that smoking, Nick. But I just don't want to lose to those guys because of the whole Donovan Mitchell. We should have got him, and you're gonna hear the narratives, and then you're gonna hear the little guy on ESPN with the hairline all the way back, talking a whole lot of trash. You understand what I'm saying? So
they don't talk good about us anyway. So what they talk about us is irrelevant. This is why we created the communities we have now.
Right. I mean, listen, this is what I'll say. The Knicks have an opportunity, to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, depending on matchups, depending on how they play, depending on what's going on with the other team. But let's not act like we head and shoulders above Cleveland.
Right.
You know what I mean? If we lose in the seventh game, even though it's the first round,
yeah, it's different.
I think we even with Cleveland. You guys think we're head and shoulders above Cleveland, that we should be favored, or do you guys think we're even with Cleveland?
Right, I agree with you because,
I think we even. I think we're right there with them. I think it's a 50-50 thing, but I still think we could beat them though.
No doubt.
Yeah, we could definitely beat them.
But if we don't, is it a failure?
Yeah, if you're even with the team, it's not a failure.
In 7 games, I wouldn't think so. I just think we probably put our best foot forward, and it never happened how we wanted it to happen. Now I wouldn't think it's a failure.
No, we have to beat that team for me to in the playoffs.
Because you got to put
are they bet? I think they're. You guys say 50-50. I would give them 51 as 49. They actually have a better roster, but we still have to beat them. I don't care.
I don't think they have a better roster, bro. I think
they do.
They bench.
Guys,
I think they bench is not even.
Cleveland have more talent than
what? Because they got Garland and
Donovan,
so they got a better. Evan Mobley.
Yes.
Nah, man, that's media hype. Most of these dudes be media hype, and then you
Jared Allen.
Nobody.
Jared Allen.
Bro, at CSK, that's just the first starting 5. What about they bench? They don't have a bench, bro. Look it up right now. Who is their go-to guy on the bench?
If you think they have a better roster, then you can't say that it will be a failure if we lost to them in the first round.
Okay, no, because no. I can't, because you got to put that extra effort. You have to put that extra.
He double talking.
I mean, you can put a lot of extra effort. If a team is better than
if they're better than us,
if they're better, you put all the effort you want. But I agree, the Cavs don't have a bench, and I think Mobley is playing okay. He hasn't been lights out, this season. I like
and Okoro can't even hit a three to help his grandma
either. That's
I mean, like, bro,
they have bigger names, but they don't have a better roster. That's
exactly.
Yeah. So
you know what? The last time we beat them, we beat Cleveland. We didn't have Mitch, right?
No, I don't think so.
We didn't have Mitch, and we didn't have Josh, right?
True.
Last time we beat them in the Garden, I was there, right? So what I'm saying is this here is I don't care nothing about Cleveland at all. Period. And they don't match up to us. That's how I'm feeling, and that's how the Knicks should look at it. That's why they aiming at them. You know what I mean? And as far as like Donovan, man, I watched this dude who just got, Black History Player of the Month, give him and Mike Conley the business last year. The business. Mike Conley couldn't check. Donovan said, move, I got him, and gave him the business. And he went right on to see Phoenix. So, I mean, you got to show up in these playoffs. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, you don't. You're going to go home. But I love our chances, you know what I'm saying? And then they just got rid of Kevin Love. Kevin Love is gonna help Miami. You know what I'm saying? But Kevin Love going off that team, that's different leadership that them guys really gonna really wish that they had. But I love our chances against them. That's why we 2-1 against them right now. When the playoffs come, you better protect yourself. Because you're supposed to be better than us. You got Donovan. The only thing that will hurt us losing against them that we can say is that RJ have a good series. If RJ don't have a good series, then you can point fingers because he should have been in that trade. But if RJ don't have a bad series, and he show up, we something different cooking.
Yeah, and then, but keep bringing up this height and this length thing. Look how much teams we face with length and height. Like the Pelicans, they had like how many guys that's taller than us, bro, and we still spanked them by 20.
But Stafford,
so when it comes to height and length, bro, I don't think that matters, bro.
It does. In a 7-game series, it does.
Bro, I don't feel like that, bro, because I feel like Randall could handle Mobley. We could only contain Donovan Mitchell, and we could lock down Garland. Who else is on that team is really a threat? Seriously, who else on that team is really giving us a threat? And we match up with the tall guy in the center with Mitch.
Dean Wade. Don't forget Dean Wade.
And he's coming off the bench.
Yo, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, this height thing and this length thing, we already conquered that already. You heard Jay Boogie said that already earlier. I think Queenie even mentioned it. The height and the length don't matter to us no more.
Especially when it comes to Jalen Brunson. I've seen enough to know what he could do. But let me get to a few of these super chats. John Levy, I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for the super chat. You only need 10 to play as one to win it all. History is written, not told. And that's absolutely right. Like, you'll hear people say, you can't win like that. You got to win like this. They told Golden State, you can't win with a jump shooting team. They won. You can't win without a super. Who knows? Who knows? The bottom line is you got to have a good offense. You got to have a good defense. And you got to have players that can put the ball in the basket when it counts the most, who's not shrinking. Right? We get to this other super chat. And actually, I want to ask you guys this question. Eddie F., appreciate you always rocking with us. Do we not consider ourselves a full contender because we lack a megastar, or because we see too much weakness in the rotation, aka RJ and Obi. So I guess this is for those who don't consider us contenders right now. Is it because we don't have a star, or is it because you're seeing some weaknesses in the rotation?
Can I ask a quick sidebar before we go into this one? And it has to do with this one. Is Obi really a weakness?
I didn't
Really. Now he only played 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's just,
And in the 10 minutes, he does what he comes to
be
do.
a weakness.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I feel like I don't have a problem with Obi Toppin. I feel like when he comes in, he gives us,
job.
you know, he does his job. He gives us, you know, what he can give us. He'll hit threes. He's rebounding better. His defense may not be the greatest, but shit, RJ's defense is not, you know, the greatest. And at least with Obi, we're only talking about 10 minutes.
right. RJ played a whole damn game and don't play nobody.
The last
whole
couple
game,
games he has looked good though. I'm gonna give RJ credit. Last game he was good on defense. He did contribute to us scoring 81 points in that half and scoring 140 in that game. He didn't look the greatest or the best, right? But he definitely contributed to the win, made good decisions. Was it the best? But like I said, if he just does the right things, these are the type of scores and outcomes we gonna have, right? So you've seen that yesterday. It was just all clicking. Everybody was coinciding, and it just 140.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Sherwin.
Queen, but we didn't answer the question. That was a good question, though.
Okay, let's
You sidebarred. What was the question?
No, that was the question. That was my bad, my fault.
You sidebarred.
I'm thinking maybe he put RJ and Obi as examples because maybe he doesn't feel like they are the ones that fit on the roster. That's all. I don't think he was really, you know, trying to downplay him like that. RJ and Obi have their weaknesses and their strengths. They might just not be right for this particular team.
Yeah, but that's a good question though. Do we not consider ourselves? Because I think I'm trying to answer that. I think probably not because we don't have a megastar, but because the other teams we're going up against have megastars. How's that? Does that make sense? No.
It make yeah. I mean,
not because we don't have them, because the other teams have them.
I get that to a point because they may get the calls and the fouls that we think we should get and stuff like that. Those definitely are factors. But when you just play in the right way, eventually things just start to swing. The pendulum swings in your direction. So at this point, we got a cohesive team, and certain players just need to figure out they chain in the link. And as we doing, we just won 7 in a row, looking for 8 right now. So obviously things are working, and we beaten every time they say, "Oh, we can't beat this team and we can't beat that team." We turn around and then we beat that team, and then we don't even know how to celebrate because we was doing so much downplaying it, right? So I'll just say, as I've said before, and I'm gonna continue to say, appreciate what we have right now, man, because everything that glitter ain't gold. Sometimes you got to get it the rough way.
Facts.
Sherwin, a healthy Cleveland is better than the Knicks. Sherwin, you're losing a little credibility because even from the beginning,
we lost credibility.
We was only gonna win. We was only gonna. No. Sherwin is my guy. I respect him. So I'm not coming at him hard. I'm just saying.
Got to come for him though.
You said we was only gonna win 30-something games. You list all the teams in the Eastern Conference who was better than us, including Charlotte. We were supposed to be like 11 or 12. Yeah. Look what we did. When Mitch went out, we're not gonna win another game. We're going right to the play-in. Right now, we're in the 4th seed. Now,
Doomsday prepper.
Sherwin got to play it off. He said we're going to win 37 by the All-Star break.
Sherman asked me a question.
Right. Then you brought up Cleveland's roster.
Yo, Queen got receipts.
They have a top 10. Danny Green, that's a top. Dean Wade, like come on. Ricky,
that's why I said Dean Wade, because it was funny.
Coming off a knee injury, so you think this is a top 10? Now, if you want to say, I think it stops right at Mobley. See, they don't have. We bring in IQ and Josh Hart off the bench. There's nobody on their bench, in my opinion, better than those two guys.
Seti Osman, Isaac Okoro, Ricky Rubio, and Danny Green, and Dean Wade.
Come on,
is he
come
serious?
on,
He's serious. He can't be
Sherman.
serious.
Come on, Sherman. I think you're giving them too much credit, and you're not giving our own Knicks. Now, listen, I'm not saying to be a homer. I'm not saying to big our players up, but Danny Green, I mean, how many minutes has he played this season coming off of an injury? Ricky Rubio is coming back like knee surgery. I mean, come on. You watch the Knicks every single game. We're on an 7 game winning streak, and you're gonna pull up this roster and say they 10 deep. Come on.
There is a time when the like button has to work and the comments just have to stop. Point blank. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like it or you don't like it, appreciate it or not, where we at today right now at 37 wins, we was there last year after the season. So now with 18 more games left, matter of fact, I'm going to take that 11 off my man that's on player of the month, and that's how many more games we going to win. I got us being 48 wins this year. You got to appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? And it's okay to be wrong about the Knicks, our team, you know what I'm saying, feeling this way about it, and then jumping ship, you know what I'm saying, to be on the right side. It's okay, because we do it all the time. When we look for something good and we go bad, we jump on it back. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But when we playing bad and then we turn it good, you got to carry that over. Don't be stuck over there trying to figure out more things to say about the team. We rocking. 2-7 game. Go if the next game could be making 2 8 games straights that we have. And you know, out of them 2-7 games, the first 7 games we won, and this 7 game streak, guess what this dude Brunson did? He put up 866 points in those 14 games combined. He passed Clyde and he passed Willis Reed. You know what I'm saying? He balling. Out of those 7 game win streaks, 866 points. They dropped that bomb last night. If those ain't see it, I saw it. You gotta love it, man.
Man, he gonna cook Garland, bro.
I'm not getting on anybody who's saying we're not going to the Eastern Conference Final. I mean, I brought it up as a topic because this is what came up in the morning recap show. So if you disagree, you disagree. I'm not saying that you're out of your mind for not thinking the Knicks can't go to the Eastern Conference. I think that's fair. We didn't even make the playoffs last year. Now we're talking about the Eastern. So that's fair, right? Having concerns about the Knicks, in the first round, I think that's fair, but some of this stuff is not fair.
Vegas even had us winning 37 games, and where we at now? 37 games.
Right.
But
they had us making the play-in. Where we at now? The 5th seed. They say we isolating too much. Top 10 in offense. They say we don't have a defense. Top 10 in defense and a defensive coach. So I really don't know what else do we want again, man. I really don't know.
And last year, like, they tried to change the makeup of the team. They brought Kemba, who was hobbled, and then Fournier, who is not as good defensively, even though he could shoot threes. So it kind of changed the makeup, and everybody just jumped off this cliff like you feel what I'm saying? When we still had most of our core, we still had Mitch, we still had RJ, we still had Randall, right? We still had the people that we still have, like, Quickly or whatever. But all I'm saying is those were the wrong cogs added to the ship.
To the deck, right.
So that's why it didn't work. You don't get down on the pieces that do work, because when you add pieces that don't work, you know what I mean? You just remove those pieces. Like, even Derrick Rose worked the first season. Why do you think they treating him gracefully? How you doing right now? Contribute what we did that first year we were relevant in that way. So all I'm saying is they've been adding to what's working and taking away from what's not working. So that's what an organization with a foundation should be doing. You shouldn't blow it up at the first sign of, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you know what, too, Smoke and Nick? In that first series with Atlanta, EP really let us down. You know what I mean? We didn't really have a.
It wasn't just EP, Staffer. Like
I know, but listen though, hold on though. The only reason why we went away from EP because he couldn't shoot, and we had to put in Derrick Rose, and Derrick Rose broke down because he couldn't carry the team. So now we try to bring in a guy with no knees, try to solidify the point guard position that never worked. Just like how you said, we brought in cards to the ship that didn't fit the deck, right? So that's why we didn't even succeed. But this year is a totally different atmosphere. You know what I mean? Everybody could feel it. Like JB is that guy right now to lead us where we need to go. You know what I mean? And he could penetrate. He could do all three levels, scoring inside, outside, you know what I mean, and dishing at the same time. So, you know, I really feel like EP was that weak link to that first time when we had that run in the playoffs. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick rebuttal. Like EP, I think EP gave us a service defensively that we underestimated. Him and Reggie, defensively, they were on it, right? They had that two that Thibodeau liked, right? But offensively, it wasn't the most consistent. So I understand where people are coming from that aspect of it, because basketball is a bunch of phases. But at the same time, Randall was getting triple and double teamed, and RJ was the second option at that time. And he didn't show up at all, and he skated free. You know what I mean? It wasn't but to double on your point, that's why Rose felt like he had to do, because he was like the Josh Hart right now. It's like the similar situation. He gets traded to the team. We go on a run. You feel what I'm saying? So now he feels like he's a main contributing factor to why the team has shifted in that kind of way. You feel me? Josh Hart has stayed away from that, but D Rose tried to take that on. So it's a different aspect, you know?
And we didn't have Mitch.
True.
But listen, we was doing well without Mitch that entire time. He only played 36 games.
But when you got somebody like Nerlens Noel can't really hold on to the ball, I mean, where were we going with Nerlens? I mean, I love his defensive.
Whoa.
No, but
wait, hold on. He was a big part of us getting that fourth seed.
Right.
I'm not saying that. But he just couldn't finish around the rim.
Okay, but let's not act like Mitch is lights out on the offensive end either. Right? Especially 2 years ago.
But he ain't Butterfingers like Noel though.
If we had contract year Noel with this Mitch, we'd be dangerous too. Because they said he was injury prone before we got him, but he had a contract year and he blew that money in Dallas. So he came to us in that year motivated to get that bread, got that bread, and then went back to being injured like he normally do. But we respect it because he helped us contribute something.
No doubt. All right. Anything else about the Knicks in terms of going to the Eastern Conference Finals, being championship contenders before we move on to Brunson?
No, I'm good.
All right. So Brunson was named Eastern Conference Player of the Month. He averaged 27.3 points, 6 assists, 4.3 rebounds, shot 43% from the field, 42.6% from three, and 77.6% from the free throw line. Now, we've talked about Brunson every which way we could this season. So I guess the question I have is, do you feel more comfortable going into the playoffs with a point guard like Brunson? Or do you feel like what he did last year in the playoffs was on the West? It was in the Western Conference. It was on a different team. You need to see him do this on the Knicks. Or do you feel like he's solidified already?
Man, I'm ready to go, Steph. That's my point guard. What you talking
about?
I'm ready to go. I wish the playoff was next week, man. Like, the season is taking too long. I'm ready for Jalen Brunson to start cooking people in the playoffs because that's what's going to happen.
I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see it too. I'm ready to see him start cook because I'm already claiming it. If we get Cleveland, Garland better watch out because he's gonna get more than cook. He's gonna get fried. So
but they'll probably put a Coro on him.
Yeah, he's not going to play.
Even worse.
Which shows how big of a factor he is, though, where they can't even put the natural point guard on him. They got to put the small forward or the power forward on him. You see the type of dudes they put on JB?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which create mismatches that we can exploit. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah. That we can exploit, but that's the importance of other players, other players coming through in the playoffs. I don't really have a lot of concerns, I got to be honest, about JB entering the playoffs. I feel like, I mean, listen, you can have a bad playoff series, right? So just because he played well in the Western Conference with that particular team doesn't necessarily mean that he'll do the same thing with the Knicks. However, if I had to put my money on it, I don't think JB is going to be the issue in the playoffs at all. As a matter of fact, I think he's going to raise his level of play from what we're seeing now.
Can I ask you a question real quick, Steph?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was playing with Luka last year when they made it to the ECF, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look at Luka's style of basketball, right? Mm-hmm. So Jalen Brunson wasn't getting the most opportunities. He was only given the opportunity due to the fact that Luka was injured, right? This year,
no, he started. He started on those teams.
Well, that year?
Yeah, he started.
Well, he shined most brightest last year when Luka was injured.
I mean, listen, of course, when the top dog goes down, yeah.
But also he stepped up to the plate, and also Luka didn't take away the light because he's not dominating the ball as much. And now when you see this type of system we running where it's a two-man, it's not really a two-man game between Randall and Brunson. They really just take turns dominating everybody, and it's working. Peppered with everybody else around him.
Right.
Okay.
My question was, and I didn't even ask the question. I apologize for that.
It's late, bro. It's like it's all.
I'm on the West Coast, man. Sorry about that. But my question is, don't you think that method and how we've just been growing and how we've been doing things of like where if Randall ain't got it, Brunson got it. If Brunson ain't got it, Randall got it. You don't think that's going to show its or rear its ugly head in the playoffs against teams? They can't double both of them.
In a negative way or a positive way?
Yeah, however you feel about it.
I think it's a positive. You're not going to be able to stop everybody. You're going to have to, you're going to have to choose. You doubling Randall or you doubling Brunson?
Yeah, because they can't double both of them on the same play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about it. I don't have any problems with. Listen, for me, like I said earlier, are the other players on the Knicks going to show up? If they don't show up, they're going to be able to key on Brunson and Randall, and that's going to be it. Knicks are going home. That's it.
But now we got Grimes in a quickly, Queen.
Right. That's what I'm saying. No, if they show up and they hit their shots, then we're gonna be fine.
I think we will be.
Yeah, we're gonna be fine. Any other thoughts on Brunson?
My point guard.
It's such beautiful. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. It really is. I mean, for all these years we've been waiting on a general, and we got him, and he came in here, and he putting on, and he answering all bells in front of whoever. Don't make a difference who he playing against, what team he playing against, how tall, how strong. I like Brunson chances. You know what I'm saying? With the ball in his hand and doing what he do, and then he be listening. You think he ain't hear that stupid talk Stephen A. Smith was talking yesterday? Stupid talk. You so much of a Knicks fan, you had the nerve on national TV say, I got Devin White as the player of the month in February. Oh, he heard that. He heard that. Right after just giving him the business, I still don't get your vote, but you're a Knicks fan? I'll put this 30 up on these dudes in the first half, then I'm going to turn down.
Word.
Hold that the day before the votes go in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, that's how, man, I ain't write that song for nothing.
Right.
And I wrote it a month and a half ago. Really? So I've been seeing him, watching him, doing what he do. I just had to figure out how I would write it. And the dude right there, he got a leader. And the great thing about it, Julius accepts him and allows him to go ahead and take the lead, and I will follow you, my guy. I got your back. Talk to me. Let's communicate. Let's do it. That's the greatest thing about it. You know, when Julius come out there, he clicking in the beginning, and then they paying attention to Julius, and then here he come. Oh, man, it's so beautiful. What that announcer said last night, it was crazy. That man said, Julius Randle got 90 trades in the first quarter this year. I'm like, what? Hold up. What did he say?
Most in the league.
90 trades in the first quarter. That means he's coming out there cooking, and then he's giving it over to the point guard. Handle your business.
Word.
I mean, what I like about both of them is, I mean, Randall has been playing lights out since the All-Star break. And what I like is that when Randall is cooking, Brunson just he just stays to the side. He doesn't try to do too much. Make sure you feed him the ball, and vice versa. Last night when he was cooking in the first half, Randall was just standing off to the side, letting him cook, because if Randall stands out there, you got to guard him because he can hit the three. That creates more space, for Brunson. So those guys are fine. I just want to say to Silk Sutton, last year in Dallas, Brunson played 79 games and he started 61 of them. At some point, Jason Kidd put him in lineup and he finished out the rest of the season 61 straight starts. So he did start for them, not in the beginning of the season, but at some point he started
later down this season.
And he finished it out 61 starts.
And Queen,
but played better
Jalen Brunson.
when he was out. Yeah.
No, I was just surprised when I'm listening to the national media. You got people like Max Kellerman is surprised that Jalen Brunson will be a star too. The Lowe's, the Boomer Innocence, or whatever his name is. I listen to all of these guys. Right, Boomer Esiason, and all of these guys had doubts with the contract when we signed Jalen Brunson. And right now, each and every one of them is eating their words right now. Even to say that how, he's outplaying his contract now. So, I mean, listen, I know I called him a budding star. I might have to retract on that in a little bit. But Jalen, I mean, he's a beast, man. That 30 piece that he put on in the Garden last night, I'm just shaking my head like, this guy might even drop 60 tonight. That's to tell you, because I'm laughing. I'm like, how we got these guys on skates.
But you know why he didn't drop 60, Staffer? Because he plays the right way. In the second half, when they started sending the double team, he wasn't like, having to prove something that he could score despite the double teams or whatever. He just passed the ball. He took only 4 shots in the second half and made 3 of them, 75%.
And he proved it already in that first half when he dropped that 30 piece on your head. What else you got to prove? I already dropped 30 in the first half on your head. Would you need more?
and guess who was guarding him? Mikal Bridges, who is what, 6'8", 6'9". So all this length and height that people talking about, that's out the window, bro. That's out the window
for him, definitely.
That's why I was saying He knew what he was doing last night. He was making a statement. The votes had to go in. They came out today. He knew what he was doing. They knew what they were doing.
Jay Boogie, you off for that?
What you mean? Man, they know what time it was. Go get it, my
I
dude.
did not think about that.
I
He
did
do that
you
right
that.
before he
Go
announced
get
it.
this 30. That's all he needed to do, man. It's shut down.
Hold
Steve
that.
Lee, Judge White.
And plus,
real quick.
last month he came in second. Let's not forget that. Like MB just had a monster month just like he did. He came in second to MB last month. Well, the month before last, in January.
Okay.
Because he averaged he actually averaged more points in January than he did in February. January he was like at 30, I think, or 29 point something. In February,
Showing out and winning goes a lot further than showing out and you losing.
Right.
It goes a whole lot further. More eyes is on you. What he doing? What? And they winning? What? And how many games they won? What? And the 5th seed? Oh man. You see Richard Jefferson today, man. Whole face.
The Vince Carters, all of them was doubting him. Vince Carter's, all of them.
He tried to call Knicks fans stupid today. I'm like,
yeah.
What? I talked to all types of Knicks fans. I ain't never heard a stupid one in my life. Who you think? See, I was like, I know you don't watch games. To utter stupid out your mouth about a Knicks fan, you wildin', bro. Like, I was like, yo, they should have kicked him off the air, right? I couldn't have been in that arena right there or that studio with them recording that. I'd have tweaked on them.
All right. Anything else about JB before we move on to the next and last topic?
Do your thing, Queen.
All right. The last topic. I might have
spicy.
Yes.
Spicy. It's gonna be peppery.
Yes. Thibodeau earned a contract extension, or is it too early? You need to see how the Knicks perform in the playoffs before thinking about giving Tom Thibodeau an extension.
Controversy.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead. Beat me to it.
Not gonna lie, I'm gonna say a big hell no. He hasn't learned a contract.
Come on, Jerrell, stop it.
I said yet.
No, that's his opinion.
I said
you're
yet.
You're right.
I said yet. To me,
okay.
I'm going to see how the playoffs go. Just like the whole championship. Are we a championship team? This playoffs coming up will tell all. When it comes to Tibbs, his adjustments, some of the players on our team, how they react in the playoffs. Like when we get to the playoffs, this is going to say a lot about this team.
Okay.
So to me, just because of that, it's not like he hasn't been doing a great job, because he has, obviously. But in order to get an extension, I need to see what happened this year.
Okay.
Go ahead, J Bugs.
Bring your tweezers to the game, because you're not gonna blame me. It's gonna be on y'all. I got you here. Yo, that 9 RJ got on, I took it off his jersey and put it in the rotation. Yo, I got it here. You're not going to blame me at all. If you're not playing, you're not performing, go down to the end of the bench and get splitters. Bring your tweezers with you. You know, I don't think it could have been another coach that could have done what Tom did with the roster he had from the beginning and got us to right here where we at right now. Standing right here. I don't think it's not another coach that could have done that. Off top. No, it's not. But to be right here and we don't do anything in the playoffs, Tom's gonna make sure it's not his fault. I got you here, put you in the best position you can to go out there and perform. If you don't perform, then what that means is, no, I got us here, but I need more players. That's what it's that's the way I'm looking at it. I think Tom has done a great job, and he's deserving of it. Because I don't know if there's another coach that could have got to where we at right now. And then I don't know if another coach can come in and do the same thing next year what Tom did this year. And if it is another coach that can come in and do the same thing what Tom doing this year, next year, then you ain't got some more pieces for that coach when you should have gave those same pieces to Tom, because he got you here without those pieces that you brought in.
Talk to him, Jay Boogie.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think that Tom Thibodeau is definitely deserving of that extension for the simple fact that he's only been here 3 years, right? We won 41 games the first year. We won 37 games the second year, which is 4 games less than the first year. Now we're at the 37 game mark that we won last year, right? And we still have about 18 games left. So to say the team ain't improving when like people act like we won 20 games last year. We was 4 games under the previous record that we had. So now we at the same record that we have. We super excited when we won 37 games last year. So to pretend that Thibodeau ain't doing what he do, yeah, he deserved that extension today. He deserved that Missoula treatment, man. Take the interim off his name and sign him for 3 more years, man. We need him.
Boy, this
You don't care what y'all say. I don't like it. Hell no.
I'm on the fence with this one. And I see Keith Turner said something earlier in the chat where Tibbs hasn't won a first round in 10 years. If that's true, I need somebody to look that up. I'm with Jerrell, and then at the same time I'm with Smoking Nick and Jay Boogie. It's like, yeah, you got us here. You know what I mean? You pushing all the right buttons. You know what I mean? You're doing the things that is necessary for the team to be prepared and getting us right. But if when we get to the playoffs, you can't get that extra juice out of our players, I don't know if probably you're the coach for this team, but I'm gonna let you play out your contract until it's over. So what I'm trying to say, I'm 50-50. If that sounds right, I'm 50-50 because I do respect Tom Thibodeau, but at the same time, he does has his flaws when it comes to the playoffs.
One playoff.
No, well, I mean, I'm looking at the whole totality with Chicago.
Oh, you going okay?
Exactly. I'm looking at the whole totality. Right. So I'm just watching his whole coaching career when he was a head coach, and what has he done, right? So
Dirty Dancer said just getting many to the playoffs was an accomplishment. Remember, that team was a mess for years before Tibbs got there. But I think it's fair. I'm okay if they give him a contract extension right now. I'm okay, if they wait. But this is what I will say about coaches. You're not a championship coach until you win. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, this guy, is a better coach. Those guys usually have better players, than Tibbs had. Everybody wants to look at Pop. Everybody wants to look at Nick Nurse. Everybody wants to look at Steve Kerr. Look at the players who played for those guys. They had 75-year anniversary guys on their team. Mm. And what happened whenever those guys went out? What has Pop done since Parker, Manu, and Tim Duncan has left? Not much. You need dogs in this league. What did Steve Kerr do when Klay Thompson and Steph Curry was injured? Not much.
They got James Wiseman, like in the top 5.
Correct. What did Spo do before Dwayne Wade and Shaq and those guys? Mm. You know what I mean? So, and when you have those guys, excuse me, I got a little sidetracked by the chat. Those guys cover up coaches because it never gets to the point where that coach has to make a critical decision that's going to win and lose the game because they got dogs in there that can. They never get to that situation. With Thibodeau, we got to worry about, why he got so-and-so bringing the ball out of bounds. We should have bring. That's letting you know the type of players you got on the team where you're worrying about who's bringing the ball out. The caliber of players you have on the team, that makes a difference. Steve Kerr don't have to deal with that. Anybody could take the ball out. Pop didn't have to deal with that. He was sitting over there thinking about, who's gonna take the ball out? If this one take it out, then who's gonna shoot it? If that, he didn't have to worry about none of that. Take the ball out. We sitting here talking about, look at the play, he ran out of bounds, because we don't have the players. You know what I mean? So I think Tibbs, during the time that he's here, and I think the criticism of him is fair, and I think those who want to see how he performs in the playoffs, I think that's fair. But for me, I'm all in on Tom Thibodeau. Is he perfect? No. But none of these coaches are. They complaining about, I said this earlier in the show, they complaining about Steve Kerr over in Golden State right now. Because he's not playing a taller rotation. He's not playing guys over 6'9". He's not playing the young guys. So all of these coaches we talking about that we think is better, the fan base is complaining about them too. The bottom line with coaches, you got the dogs, you win. You don't have the dogs, you lose. Bottom line. You can out-coach your talent for a little bit, maybe a season or so, but you're not going to consistently out-coach your talent. You got to have talent. Give Tom Thibodeau what he needs, and now let's judge him. We judging him on last season when he got a broken down Kemba Walker and Fournier, who, God bless him, he did what he could do as far as the 3-point shooter is concerned, but defensively, he wasn't that. But Randall had one of his worst seasons last year. But nobody is pointing to that. Everybody's pointing to Tom Thibodeau and what he didn't do last season.
Queen, it's funny that you said that, because I was listening to the pregame show with Knicks Film School, where they bring in somebody from Boston, and that person from Boston was even complaining that the fans even complaining about Mazzulla and his strategy, and he's not taking Pacific timeouts, and he doesn't like to take timeouts, and he doesn't like this, and he doesn't like that. So you know what, with this whole coaching thing, I just think fans is going to complain regardless of whoever the coach is. No matter if you're a championship coach, no matter if you're a B-level coach, they're going to have something that they don't like about the coach. And to see you criticize Mazzulla, who has had Boston on top of the Eastern Conference for most of the year, and the fans are complaining, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. But at the same time, we have over here with Thibodeau, we have our own gripe, right? And they complain about, as you were saying, they complain about everything. So, so I mean, it's really hard to really blame a coach for everything. And as you were saying too, Queen, every coach has their philosophy, and every fan is not going to agree with the coach's philosophy. But at the same time, they're winning. So sometimes I don't understand what the problem is. Right. And Keith, even you said how even if Tom make it to the second round, you still not signing him again. I mean, I wouldn't do that, bro. I'll let the man finish out his 5-year contract. And if he takes us in his 5th year to the playoffs again, and we reach to the Eastern Conference Finals, you want to bring in another coach again? So sometimes you got to be fair, bro.
Right. And Tibbs is in a different class. He actually won something. Yeah, but look who he had on the team. Yeah, listen, you don't think Tibbs would have won with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant? Come on.
That's not a fair.
Come on. Yeah, he won some things because he had players. All of these guys that we're talking about, where were they before they got those players? Where were they before they got those players, and where have they been since? Where has Miami been since Dwayne Wade? They didn't make it in the bubble with who was it?
Jimmy
with Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm. Queen, can I answer that question? My thing dropped, the laptop battery died. So yeah. Has Thibodeau earned the contract extension? Yes, he has. But I want to say something about Thibodeau, right? all over the content provider universe, everybody's saying, oh, we should apologize to Tom Thibodeau. I'm going to say, hell no. Let's not pretend that he didn't such a great job last year that we need to apologize. He needs to apologize to us because he got paid and he didn't do his job last year. I understand he didn't have the roster, but he could have done a better job, okay? That Alec Burks was the best point guard, the best option he had at point guard. I was done with him with that stuff.
You want him to play players that's not ready, so
that's how you get him ready. You got to play him.
No, you get them ready when they're ready. You get them. You just want to throw them out there so you can blow their confidence because you think that's how it works. No, you don't put a person in a prize fight before they're ready to fight. That's how people die.
Nobody's going to convince me that Alec Burks was a better point guard than Derrick Rose, Deuce McBride, or Emmanuel Quickly.
Well, Derrick Rose had the foot injury, so you're missing that context. And then
McBride wasn't ready. McBride wasn't even ready this year.
He was better. He would have been better than Alec Burks.
No.
Emmanuel Quickly would have been better than Alec Burks.
Your revisionist history is a little off, player. I'm not gonna lie.
Depends, but
he is not a point guard.
It depends on what you're looking at. Remember, Julius Randle was the point guard on that team. Point forward on that team. So he didn't put Burke in there to be a traditional point guard to play make. He put Burke in for defensive purposes so that they can switch they can switch on defense. That was his role. His role wasn't to be the point guard on the team, right? He wanted to keep Quickly on the bench in his role, which he's doing this year as well. Because listen, if they really believed in Quickly and the organization really believed in Quickly, Brunson wouldn't even be here as a point guard.
We're not starting with a point guard then. Don't tell me Alec Burks is a better point guard than Emmanuel Quickly.
He's not a point guard. That's the point I'm trying to make. He wasn't looking for a point guard. He was looking for somebody that can switch defensively because Randall was going to be the one. You think if Quickly was in there, Quickly was going to be playing point and running the point guard position?
Yeah, we didn't have a point guard.
The ball was in Randall's hands. That wasn't the point of Burks being in there.
He even said it too. He wanted length. He wanted length and defense on that particular position. Right.
Switchability.
Right.
Quickly, they see Quickly as an off the bench guy. And that's been his role this year as well. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to get on a coach if he wants to keep Quickly in the role that he's in right now.
And that's what I'm saying, Queen. They're always going to find something to blame a coach for, regardless how they want to see it. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of the fact, a coach is going to get criticized regardless. Even if he's winning, making right adjustments, he's still going to get criticized for something because it's something that the fan base that don't like. And perfect example, Missoula in Boston. When I heard that, I wanted to cry because I think the guy's doing a fantastic job with those guys up there. Have them on the Eastern Conference on top, but you still find something to criticize him about. Even Budenholzer, he's on top of the league right now, but the fan base still have something to say. I think the list goes on and on and on.
And let's not forget Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers, even him. The Philly fans want him gone.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I live in Pennsylvania. They hate Doc Rivers out here. They don't like him at all.
It's not about the results. If you're not doing it the way as a fan base you feel that the coach should do it, then he needs to go.
No, but to your question, Thibodeau definitely deserved the extension, and because he's doing a tremendous job this year. And you always say it's a results-driven league. The results speak for itself.
And you know what? To be honest, how much more different is Tibbs this year than last year? He the same. To me, he's the same. All right, we a little tweak here and there, but for the most part, he's not that much different. The difference is players are balling out for him. They got good chemistry and they win it. And that's how it is. When your players playing well, the coach looks good. When the players are not playing well, the coach looks terrible.
That little tweak
Nick Nurse, prime example. Last year he was in the playoffs. He had the Toronto at the 6th seed. Now where he's at right now, 12, 10, somewhere around there, trying to make it back.
Right.
And it's all criticism with him right now. But when he was winning, you ain't hear nothing.
Right.
You know, so I mean,
and people will say, "Oh, he's a great coach. He's much better than Tom Thibodeau." Well, he had Kawhi Leonard. Where they been since Kawhi Leonard's been there? You know what I mean? So
Nick Nurse deserves to have all the criticism he get because he ain't done nothing for that team. He can't develop none of that. You know, be honest with you, I'm just speaking out of, you know, upset because I know they robbed my man Jerry Stackhouse for that job. Point blank. Jerry Stackhouse developed that whole team. Norman Powell, Van Fleet, all them guys are down there in the G League with Jerry when they won the championship.
Yep.
And they brought him up. And Jerry thought he was going to get that job. Nick ain't done nothing.
He had to take the Vanderbilt job because of that.
Wow, I forgot that, Jay Boogie. That's true, man. That's
he
true.
took the Vanderbilt job because they chose Nick Nurse over him.
Yeah.
yeah.
But you gotta love, you gotta appreciate it. Stand up, Knicks. Do what you do. Shoot, the Knicks got people who don't even know how to have a podcast. Open up podcasts. We rock it.
Right. You got fans still. I still hear people talking about they should have traded Julius Randle, man. Like that's.
I mean, look, people they gonna have their opinions regardless.
Hey, the why it's hot. It stocks up.
Regardless. Right, so it don't even matter. Right now, I gotta agree with Smoking Nick. Enjoy what you're seeing right now at this moment, because we've been at the bottom for so long, and it's just for the past 3 years that we've been making some type of noise, right? So just appreciate what we have right now, and just see how far this team could go, and see if we could do some damage. Like what RJ said earlier, let's shock the world, right? So, you know what I mean? So just get behind the team, man, and see what we could do.
Yeah. Anything else about Thibodeau or anything else we discussed?
Got me up there.
Tonight, or it is kind of early. I mean, he got 2 more years on his contract.
He's right in the middle of his contract. So he wouldn't even be up for an extension until after next year, I think. Right.
And
I think you can extend a coach anytime.
Even if he got like 2.5 years left.
I don't know if that's governed by the collective bargaining agreement. I think you can.
I don't think it is.
You can do whatever
you want. You could fire him after 2 weeks after you sign him. You could do whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, and Thibodeau has brought in a totally different culture to this team. So I feel like if we do get rid of him, who else is going to bring that culture and that respectability, you know, to the team like how Tibbs is doing it right now?
And don't we want a foundation? Didn't we want a foundation that we could grow on and build on and create into an empire, right? Why we be so quick, fast to dump on the people that's creating our foundation and stabilizing our franchise is what I meant to say. Sorry.
I guess there's 2 ways you can look at that. I guess it depends on how much you like Tibbs and how, you know, personally you view how a team should do stuff like that, because Mark Jackson will, you know, he will destroy everything we're saying right now when it comes to that stuff. Because they got rid of him.
I don't think that's true, because if the Warriors didn't get Kevin Durant, who's to say that they would have won those extra 2 championships?
Yeah, but they won without him though.
They won without him because a lot of teams were injured that season, and they just happened. We could LeBron got
Didn't they win 2 without KD?
Yeah, Chris Paul got injured when they beat the Clippers. When they beat Cleveland, Kevin Love got injured, dislocated his shoulder the previous series. Kyrie dislocated his kneecap or cracked his kneecap in half. There was a lot of factors into why they went and why we talk about the same things that we want to happen for us. So we can't just always be looking at the bottom.
Listen,
wait, hold on, Smoking. We didn't say we want that to happen.
I'm saying that. I put that on my record. But
I'm not taking anything away from Golden State.
Yeah.
Listen.
No, because they accomplished it after that. I think their fourth championship was the most respectable out of all of them. You feel what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is every championship they got, in my opinion, is respectable. It matters. Because getting injured is part of it. Detroit won because Magic was injured.
Toronto won because KD got injured.
Because KD was
injured. They would have had another one.
Those are all facts. That's just nuance. That's all it is.
But that's just the way it rocked, though. I ain't taking nothing away from anybody that won the championship because there's nothing to say they wouldn't have still did it if Kyrie was there.
Milwaukee won because KD's foot was too big.
Right. Yeah.
Right, Anthony. The injuries are a part of it.
Yeah, it is.
You got to be able to take advantage of it.
You got to have some luck, and take advantage of every opportunity.
Luck is a huge part of it. Yes, in every sport.
Yeah, the coolest. I hear you, but you can't do that. Like you like that's. The Knicks can't act like they already accomplished something. Now you're gonna start resting people with 18, with like 15 or 16 games.
I'm not with that load management thing. I'm not with that.
And he's not even. He's only playing. What is he playing? Like 34 minutes a game.
Yeah,
they already cut their minutes.
Everybody's minutes is pretty much down now. Even RJ's is down to like 25, 26 minutes.
The bench is holding the leads and extending the leads. It's not like early in the season where they wasn't, and Tibbs had to bring in the starters quick and fast because the lead was dwindling down. You understand what I mean? They're actually holding leads now. You understand? And the defense is even solidified even more. So to say that how we need to cut down Brunson minutes, he is good where he's at.
Yeah, he's playing like 34, 35 minutes or something like that.
Why they acting like it's a soccer game and they just running constantly and it's not a mad breaks and not halftime, a show every
that we playing at.
Yeah.
But it's a show between every break if you watch it, so they getting enough breaks. So come on, man. Like if you're watching the broadcast, you know that they getting a show between every timeout, and they get 6 timeouts between every team. That's 12 timeouts.
And you got the TV timeouts, the Knicks City Dances timeouts.
So and it's only a 48-minute game every other day.
Yeah, and plus I'm not arguing about minutes anymore with Tibbs. Not when like our team is too young for that now. Like we talk about like people in their early and mid 20s and they can't play 35 minutes.
48 minutes though, a game.
Like that's the average starting rate. It's like the average starter. That's what they play. Like they should be playing that.
Right.
But Steph, you said RJ's down to 25 minutes. Like since when? Like when,
since the I believe the All-Star break.
That's that Josh Hart effect, probably.
Yeah, no. You're right. I think since Josh Hart has been here.
Oh, okay. Probably Josh Hart,
the coolest.
Which makes sense.
I'm with you on that. Like the Knicks are up 20. They still in the game with 4 minutes, left. But that's Thibodeau's philosophy. That he's been doing that forever. That's not new.
And plus the way that we lose leads.
Like he forgetting in Dallas, it had how many minutes left?
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes or something like that. And we up by 11 and poof. The lead gone. Overtime, we lost the game. So, I mean, as I said before, is always going to have something that the fans don't like about the coach. And that's just one of those things where we up 20 and Tibbs is always going to keep his starters in until he feels comfortable to take him out. So the coolest, you just going to have to deal with it, bro. That's just one of the things you don't like. And that's just his philosophy, as Queen said.
Yeah, we got some.
I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying.
No. And I get it.
He's always done that. So RJ is averaging 28.6 points since Josh Hart has been here.
That's down a lot.
That's down a lot.
Minutes.
Right, minutes.
Yeah, that's down a lot.
Oh my God, how many points? Oh
my God. Nasty now. But yeah, that's a lot though. That's a significant significant drop.
And so he's averaging 15 points, and his field goal attempts have gone down to 12.4 a game since Josh Hart has been here. Now, Now, after the All-Star break, he's been shooting 45.8%, but during the 7 games, he's only shooting 41.4%. So it's kind of good that his shots is going, the number of shots is going, it's going to change.
I think he's more coming into his role now, and he understand what he has to do. You know, I don't think like when he at first got benched, how they paint him out pouting. Right now, he sees the team is winning and they're winning regardless. So, and I think he accepts his role, but at the same time, he will be the X factor for us, how far we need to go in these playoffs. And I'm gonna keep saying it. He needs to step his game up, which the playoffs is a different animal.
Yeah. It's definitely a different animal. But if those guys are hitting their shots, all for Brunson and Randall, we're gonna be good.
Right.
We're gonna be good.
And Julia's been working with Grimes all year long. He be hitting him. I mean, hitting him. Boom, boom, boom. He be hitting him, developing him, getting him right. And we saw a glance. If that guy is able to carry his defensive legs from defense to his shot on offense, Jay
Boogie, if you get a chance, go look before I got on here. Go look at Nick Film School, and they had that same highlight what you're talking about, where Julius Randle is hitting Quentin Grimes. It was talking about how Julius Randle is just positionally, the word I'm looking for is precisely looking for Grimes and putting the ball right where it's supposed to be for him to just catch and shoot. So when you get a chance, go look at that, and you'll see how.
I'm gonna go check it out. That's his Reggie Bullet.
You talk about hold on. You talk about the play when he was like on the left elbow and Quentin Grimes.
Talking about all the Julius passes. Yeah, all the Julius passes to Grimes.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was talking about
he does. He be hitting him, but Grimes got to hit the shot.
Right.
Let me get to the super chat. John Levy, I appreciate you. It's not just on RJ, it's on the entire team. If they continue to grind and play the way they've been playing, they'll be fine. I'm going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I agree. I don't think it's just on RJ, but he has to do his part. He has to do his part. Right. He has to hit those catch and shoot threes. He has to finish at the basket. IQ got to continue doing IQ things. Grimes have to continue to hit shots like he did the other night. So you're right. It's not all on RJ, but he has to do his part.
With me, it's not even RJ's offense. For me, I want his defense to step up. If he stepped his defense up in the playoffs, I think his offense will come. I think his game will be naturally like that anyway. I think if RJ will actually lock down and play defense like he's capable of playing, then we see a different type of RJ.
But Jerrell, when he comes on the second unit with the second team, he's actually the #1 primary scorer on that particular second squad. So he has to step up in that role. Even though quickly is instant offense, he still has to do his job. Still have to make. Still have to do the things that's necessary for him, for us to win. So so he is a big part. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not, as Queen said, it's not all on him, but he is a valuable piece when that second unit comes in, and he has to produce. So as I say, he has to make shots, he has to make, and he has to do the right things.
Right. I will say, last night against Brooklyn, the defensive effort and intensity from RJ is there, but he still got beat. I think there's some lateral quickness issues.
Right.
Cam Johnson cooked him.
Yeah, he was engaged. He was, moving. He was cutting, trying to get through. He was there. They still blew right by him. Right. I think it's just he can't move his feet laterally as well as he did in years past. I got another super chat from John Levy. I appreciate you. We need to calm down. We're playing with house money. Calm down. But you know what, John Levy? Levy or Levy. It might be Levy.
Mhm.
You know what? I don't know, because if you're playing with house money and you lose,
Mhm.
you are right. If the Knicks go out 4-1 in that
Nah.
first round,
Mm-mm.
this place is gonna be on fire. Nick
Yeah.
Fixham and Twitter is gonna be on fire. So I
Yeah.
think
Ask that Tibbs question after that, Steph.
right. I think right. I think the expectations are rising. And with those expectations, if the Knicks fall short,
Right.
it's gonna be it's not gonna be good.
It's going to be pandemonium.
I don't want people to be
Pitchforks in
complacent.
front of MSG.
Even look at us. We're talking about, are we close to being championship contenders? Can the Knicks go to the Eastern Conference final? Like, we're not even talking about, can the Knicks make the 5th seed? Can the Knicks get to the 4th
Right.
seed? You know, can the Knicks, win in the first round? So I think the expectations are higher because of the streak. And I think if the Knicks, I think some people would be disappointed if the Knicks don't make it to the second round.
Queen, I don't even think it's a streak. I just think it's how we playing ball right now and how we gelling.
Right.
Forget the streak. It's how we blowing out teams and how we doing it and how we just holding leads in the second half and not being disappointed in the fourth quarter where teams is coming back. We actually putting the clamps down.
Right.
And we making the right acquisitions when the trade deadline come in. So I just think it's just that comes in it also too. So I mean, I couldn't really care about the win streak. I just feel like how we playing is the expectations of what the fans see that we could get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right. I just don't want people to be complacent just because we're good.
Right.
I don't want to be good.
Right.
I want to be great.
Right. I think I agree with Ron. Shout out Ron Cleveland. I would be disappointed if we didn't make it to the second round, but not upset, depending on how we played. I agree.
Yeah.
I could see, like when we talk about floor ceiling before the season, we talk about floor ceiling. Like, I would not be shocked if the Knicks made it to the Eastern Conference final. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they beat a Cleveland and then a Philly in the final. I wouldn't be shocked. But if we lost to 7, like JJ was saying, if we lost in Game 7 to Cleveland, I think I'd be disappointed. But I don't think I would be like calling for Tibbs to be fired, talking about how guys didn't show up and blah, 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 blah. Because Sherman thinks Cleveland is better than us, and I think we can reasonably agree that we're at least even though there are some who believe that the Knicks are. That's
why you see I'm holding my receipts.
Yeah. Some people think that the Knicks.
Anytime we get to that finals, boy, I'm roasting so many people. I'm telling you.
Hey, did Darius Garland go to the All-Star game this year?
No.
All right. So all that about Cleveland and all that, you ain't seen none of them guys but Donovan, right? It was only right for Donovan to go because he's a household name. But then, also to get back to help Utah, and they All-Star thing. But let's keep it all the way 100, man. Them dudes was named to that All-Star. They played a little bit good, but, man, that All-Star game was in Cleveland last year, man. Point blank, man.
There was some motivation to have more representation.
Yeah, that's all that was, man. In the way, Jerry Allen and all. Come on, Jim Kelly. He ain't even got no business in no All-Star game.
Jim Kelly.
Come on, Jim. See, most of us is old enough to definitely get that reference.
Come on, the kids have seen Enter the Dragon. Come on, most kids have seen that movie, right?
No.
Oh my goodness.
No, not kids, Ajay. No, that movie old as hell.
Shout out to Paris Duggar. Biggest wild card is Randall. He has to be stable.
Man, we're not going to get his roof size on.
Why we keep bringing up last year type stuff? To me, the biggest wild card is not Randall. To me, the biggest wild card is everybody else outside of Randall and Brunson.
Right.
Facts.
And those guys show up to take the pressure off of them because they will be double teaming them. Randall is we talking about last year's stuff. There's nothing about Randall that's not stable, right now.
I don't even get mad at Randall for barking at the refs because somebody got to do it. He's the only person on the team that pretty much do that. So yeah, we need somebody to be talking to the refs like that, even if it's not him.
Right now, Jerrell, I don't even want him doing that because I don't even want him getting a technical because we got a bet going on.
I know.
So,
I did not forget. I did not
right. Randall is the least of your worries. Now, listen, if you're interested in, how he plays in the playoffs his second time around, all right, that's that's fair. That's fair. But that he's a wild card and we worrying about his mental, I'm not worrying about Julius Randle's mental. Julius Randle, as far as that's concerned, has turned the corner. And that was one of the things I said last season when people asking about wanting him to be traded. I said, no. I want to see him with a point guard, and I want to see him have a off season of reflection. Because one thing about Randle, whenever he has hiccups or whatever you want to call it, he comes back the next year better. The spin move, he came back the next year better. You know what I mean? So give him an opportunity and look what he's doing.
Queen, let me add to that too. I notice whenever he doesn't get calls and he gets mad, he comes and he takes over the game and he gives you at least 6 to 8 points in a row. And then he starts flexing on you. Then he starts dunking on you. He takes that anger out on the rim after. And that's what I love about Julius. You know what I mean? When the calls don't go to him, he turns into a beast.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And I like that about him. So, the whole stable thing, it's going, look, every superstar, every star, every player, every role player, there's going to have a point where he's getting hacked, he's getting slapped, and he's frustrated, and he's going to bark at the ref. Look like Jason Tatum the other night.
Right.
He barking and barking and barking, and he's a superstar. And what he get? Ejected. So you're gonna say that? So you're gonna say when the playoffs come, he's not stable?
Right. But not just that. Every star or good player, even rope, have bad games.
Exactly.
Paris Duggar, appreciate the super chat. Last night, third quarter, he ran off the rails a bit. Now, listen.
Oh God,
he gonna go off the rails a little bit every game almost.
Right.
That's just him.
I think we just
a couple blunders, but I wasn't worried.
We nitpicking. Now there was a few times where Brunson lost the handle to the ball. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen.
He had a moving screen yesterday also too. Randall throw the ball once or twice trying to be too fancy. And it was the third quarter, and that I think the Nets was making a little run. But we tightened it up and we stabilized it and we kept pushing. So he's gonna have his little mental lapse. You know what I mean? But that's nothing to nitpick about. But if you're worried about that, I think you're worried about the wrong thing, bro.
Yeah, I'm not. I just want to see how he's grown.
Right.
That part I'm interested in. And the thing about it is we're not dependent on just Randall.
Right. Because even when we played Atlanta in that series, Randall had a bad series. It's not like anybody else was killing.
Right.
Like he was playing pretty much by himself. Like if they doubled him, then nobody else stepped up.
Yeah, Bullock couldn't put the ball on the floor for nothing. He's only a catch and shoot guy.
Right.
And a little bit of defense. Rose is banged up. Alfred Payton can't shoot.
Right.
And that's the thing.
Julius ain't never been a number one until he came here. That thing is just not that easy to go out and be the number one when I ain't used to being he won't number one in Kentucky was Devin. You know what I'm saying? He won't number one in New Orleans. He won't number one in LA.
With the layup.
Become a number one. It's not that easy. And then the second thing is do it in New York. Come on.
Right. And listen, everybody has to take their lumps. Even if he struggles this year, even if Brunson struggles, you got to take your lumps. I've watched Embiid take his lumps in the playoffs. I've watched Paul George take his lumps throughout the playoffs. And many other cats, the names that I can't recall right now. if you go to the playoffs, you figure out what it is. You know, sometimes you don't look at Tatum last year in the final. Didn't play that well.
Right.
You know, you think he'll be better than that if they make it to the finals the next time? Yeah, I think he will be.
Yeah, because he said in the finals that he could have played better down the stretch. I can't remember his exact quote, but he wasn't happy with himself. He was thinking about it all summer. So I mean, you're gonna have the stars that don't have a good game, man.
If they make it to the final, you said, Queen, because they got to go through the Knicks.
Yeah, I said if they make it.
They make it,
it's a process. You know, it's not like the Knicks have been going to the playoffs every year, so that you can get used to it. You know what I mean? So
I'm ready to play that bully ball.
Yes, definitely. We got 141 in the chat. Sorry, Jay Boogie.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
And we got 71 likes. All right. So if you appreciate the content,
50%, man. Come on, people.
Yeah, hit the like button. Let's get that at least to 100.
Come on, man. We got an all-star panel on here. We got Jay Boogie on the panel. We got Jerrell on there. We got CSK. We got Smoke and Nick in the LA. And then who just came in? Man. Come on now. And then you gotta respect the queen, man. So get those likes up, bro. Get those likes up, females. Let's go.
Y'all like the content? Hit the button.
Yeah, man. We putting overtime up in here. We staying up late and all that good stuff, man.
Real talk.
I already told y'all what happened after 11.
Yeah, this is
crazy in here.
Ryan, I say we heading out the door, but I said I'm gonna let you in. See if you guys want.
You know, I can't believe that y'all still on. Shout out to everybody on the panel, man.
Yeah, Queen having an extra night tonight.
I tell you, like KRS-One said back in the day, I had to look. Did my eyes deceive me? So, hey, man, I'm gonna tell you, I love what y'all talking about, man. The New York Knicks right now. You know, a lot of people questioning, is this real? And, you know what I mean? Can we beat this person? Can we beat that person? Can they beat us? That's what you got to ask yourself. Because
that's what Jay Boogie is saying.
Because this team, hey, great mind thinking like book. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, this is what I'm thinking about. This is why the Knicks are so dangerous. Is because what I'm looking at is these last, 18 games we got left? Approximately
Yes, sir.
18?
Yes, sir.
These 18 games for me is what I'm looking at is for these auxiliary players that y'all are talking about. The guys that ain't Brunson, ain't Randall. I want them to get locked in and get fine-tuned and get ready for the playoffs because teams are going to throw double teams at Julius and they're going to throw them at Brunson. But this is the thing. You can't double everybody.
Right.
You double Brunson if you want to, you got Julius. Double Julius if you want to, you got Brunson. And it's going I'm predicting it's going to come to a point where teams are going to be forced to play us straight up because you can't sleep on Grimes. And I'm going to tell y'all, them shots Grimes was making the other night against the Nets, those weren't easy jump shots. Those things were contested. They weren't wide open. People was in his face, and he was still knocking them down. So he was locked in. And it's just going to be scary to watch, man. And the end of this season is going to be fun for me personally, watching what's going to happen because I know we ain't coming back with the same team that we had this year. You know what I mean? I already know somebody's going to be gone, and I got a pretty good idea who, and I think we all know who. But I ain't gonna.
Don't get Sugar upset. Don't get the stay pat crew.
You know, I'm gonna tell y'all, and we all know this, man.
Turn up before 12 o'clock. Turn up on me, bro.
We don't have a legit small forward on this team. Let's call it what it is. We do not have a legit small forward on this team. Oh, we had one. We sent him to Portland, and we know why he got out of town. But that's a whole story for another day. But that dude, I don't even like calling his name right now because
give him a chance, Ron. Let's see what he can do in the playoffs first.
But you know the problem is smoking Nick. I mean, oh man, Stafford. You know what the problem is, man, is that the Knicks. We all can see it as a fan base that we so close, and we just need him to be consistent. That's why his name gets brought up so much. Is because if he can just be consistent, I don't need 20 points from him tonight. You don't need it. We've shown it. You don't think about it. As long as that guy been up and down, we've won a lot of games in spite of him, not because of him. You know what I mean? So the thing is, I'm just looking for him. Give me 12 to 15 points tonight and play hard-nosed defense if you can.
You literally summed up everything we've said tonight. You
and you know what's crazy? And you know what's crazy?
Literally.
I didn't even know y'all was on until I saw the little red dot on my phone. That's crazy, right? So that tells me if everybody's saying the same thing, it can't be a lie.
Right.
We all seeing the same thing, man. This thing, the Knicks are so close, you can taste it. You can taste it. We are literally one spot away. And we always say it, man. We know we got two. I don't care what nobody say. We got 2 stars on this team. Julius Randle and Brunson.
I agree.
Those jerseys, hey, I'm gonna tell you, if you're listening, Knicks fans, if you want to buy somebody jersey who's gonna be here next year, you can buy those 2 guys' jerseys. You can buy those 2 guys ain't going nowhere.
Book it.
Now that other guy that's supposed to be, I'll keep your money in your pocket.
Chill.
In your pocket.
Ron, we love RJ. He'll do better.
Hey, Smoking Nick, I hope so. For my sake, for your sake, for all the Knicks fans.
Yeah, we make a wishing with RJ right now. That's all we're doing.
If he pop, guess what? We ain't got to go out and get nobody.
Facts.
That's the beautiful thing. And we still got all these picks. 11 first-round picks, and with the next, how many drafts? 11 of them. Mm-hmm. We don't have to go get nobody.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need to see a little more than the playoffs, though. Man, you know, some consistency. Let me just get to this super chat in a few. John Levy, I appreciate you. The Dawn is right. My doctor said my pressure has never been better. Dirty Dancer, it doesn't matter if outsiders believe it's real. You could tell the team believes it. That is they come out like businessmen. You know?
I love that statement.
Yeah.
Keith Turner is not a believer in Grimes just yet. Grimes hasn't shown he can do it consistently. I ain't going off one night. Okay.
I hear you.
I can understand that.
You know the thing,
the gambling man, I put my money on Grimes before that.
He's had moments throughout the season, Keith Turner, so that I wouldn't consider that one night.
And in his defense, this is his first year starting.
Yeah, he had about a good 4 or 5, 6 nights.
Yeah.
This season, though. Yeah, he's inconsistent, but he's still young. It's only his second year.
Right.
And then in his defense, he don't get as much shots. A lot of times we look up and it's the second, third quarter. This guy ain't take even 3 or 4 shots.
Right.
Grimes should get at least 8 shots a game. At least 8.
Yeah.
There's been games where this guy got 4 shots.
And he gets the ball a lot of time when the shot clock's running.
Absolutely.
The shot clock is down.
That's true.
That's right now. He should be getting those shots. But he has to get used to that role. Because when you look at us coming in, Grimes ain't supposed to be, he's not supposed to be in front of no RJ. He's not supposed to be in front of Quickly. Grimes is there to play deep. Grimes is there to take the defense away from RJ checking the best man. That's where Grimes is at. But now, because certain people are not, performing to what they supposed to be, now he slides in. So now it looks like, yeah, he should get more shots. But in actuality, before all this started, he wasn't supposed to be getting them shots. But now we want him to get them shots because other people are not doing nothing with them shots and them opportunities.
But I've been advocating for Grimes to get more shots. But just because we have two dominant ball players, he ain't gonna get the shots. He's gonna get the shots where when they double team, he needs to knock him down. But I've been advocating for him to get more shots.
But that's where he gets it.
It was a time before Portland took over it. We had 3 guys averaging 20. So if we got 3 guys during that time, they averaging 20, and RJ's on the low end, shot opportunities, where are you looking from? No, you need to go play defense. Lock down. We got 3 scores. Yeah. You know what I mean? But now, because, that cyclone goes up and down, and the roller coaster is going up and down, you got to have somebody else that can take them shots now. And now we're looking at Grimes. So his opportunity is here, and he's taking He's taking this as a contest right now. I'm here to get this spot because it's available. We know we need a 3, but I'm trying to get this 2 spot, and he's trying to make a name for himself about it. I don't know what he's gonna do.
You know what, J Boogie, you said a mouthful, man. And the thing, when you look at my biggest thing with RJ, where RJ got to change is his mentality to the game, man. We don't need you to be taking all them shots like you was taking before Brunson got here. This team is more complete now than it was when you and Julius was the 2 dudes on this team, and they was asking you to take all them shots, man. You got to readjust your game, because there's a lot of games I've watched where RJ don't have it going, and he's still jacking up shots. He's forcing it, you know what I mean, turning the ball over, helping the other team kind of stay in the game, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like he's a momentum breaker type player for your team. You know what I mean? For the team he owns. He'll help the other team out. And I hate seeing that, and I even hate to say that, because overall I like RJ. I like the person. I like the mentality. I like the fact he wanted New York. Ain't nobody else was checking for New York like that. You know what I mean? The guy gonna keep his nose clean. He the type of guy, hey, you want your daughter to date. You know what I mean? But when it comes to this basketball things, man, hey, it's all for me. I can't get attached to players, man. I got to get attached to progress. And if you're in the way of progress, I got to unattach myself to you. And I'm more of a visionary type player, man. As much as I'm optimistic, I'm a visionary. And I can't sit here and tell you I'm looking at this team and feel like this team is complete the way this team is. I can't help but see the glowing problem, which is him. And that's anybody who love RJ. You got to be real with yourself. You can't sit there and say this.
So Ron, let me ask you this. So if he does have a breakout playoff, are you still willing to get rid of him in the off season and go with him in the following season?
I'm not getting rid of him. If he has a breakout in the playoffs, I'm not getting rid of him. And the reason why, we all know it. The playoffs are a whole nother animal. That's the intensity ratchet up. Them whistles don't blow like they blow in the regular season.
That's the truth.
Because we seen it right now. Them refs ain't calling them fouls. They preparing for the playoffs right now.
right there.
Rushing
you know
up.
what I mean? Hey, if I was playing out there on defense, I'd be loving the way they calling it. Why you think Josh Hart being extra aggressive?
You see Jason throwing his mouthpiece, get thrown out of the game. He can't believe it. Nah, dude, we ain't doing that. We ain't calling nothing.
And I'm here to tell y'all right now, when the Knicks knock out Cleveland in round 1, and if we get Boston, we're gonna send Boston home, and I'm gonna tell you why we're gonna send them home. Because I was trying to figure out all last year, all offseason. I was like, man, how Boston lost that series to Golden State, man, and they were the more deeper team. They were the better team. Well, you know why? Tatum don't like contact. He don't like physical play. And I had to remember, when they put Draymond Green on him, that whole series changed. That whole series changed. See, Brown can take the physical play. Brown was their best player throughout the whole playoffs. Nobody don't want to really admit that. But he was the better player. Even my barber, shout out to my barber, you know what I mean? Got my line so straight. When I talk, they pay attention. Hey, man, he's a Boston fan, and he said Tatum is a pretty boy, and he's inconsistent. The same thing we say about RJ. And he said he don't like contact, and he watch every game. And he's been a Boston fan since the 70s. So
I don't know if we got anybody like Draymond to put on him.
Hey, Hart is our Draymond.
No, okay.
Hart and Grimes, because Hart was getting in him. I was looking at that contact. I was like, man, Hart getting away with a lot tonight. But them refs getting ready, and I've been noticing in the last 3 or 4 games, even since the breaks, they've been letting them guys play. They've been letting them guys play. So this is a dream for Tibbs' coach team.
No doubt.
This what Tibbs want.
I just want to say, Ron Clee, because you may not have heard this, since the All-Star break, RJ's averaging 16 points on just 12 shots. He's shooting 45.8% from the field, 57% from three, and 80% from the free throw line. So since the All-Star break, he's taking less shots and he's more efficient. Let's see. Let's see if
Small
that,
sample size, but he need to keep it up.
yeah.
He need to keep it up and let it carry over into the playoffs. It carry over into the playoffs, man. We're gonna really be smiling.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Ron. We got to still give him a chance to see what he
I'm
can
gonna
do
give him a chance.
in the playoffs. You know,
But
we
Stadler-
can't just write him off.
But this is
Stadler,
the
if he
issue.
don't show up in the playoffs, me and you gonna crank the plane up to LaGuardia.
But I think the thing with RJ is stop doing too much.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
this team,
Forcing the issue all the time.
if we got Brunson and Randall already operating with the ball in their hand, we don't need you backing the truck all the way up to half court to bring it back. What we need you to do is play off of those guys.
Right.
They gonna
Yeah.
set you up. And
Yeah,
when
we
you
don't need you to be that dog, that
just
dude.
use the catch and shoot or attack the closeout. If you know, obviously, you know, if they close out on you, attack the closeout. But we
I
don't
think
need you stopping the offense, revving it all up again from the beginning. Like, we don't need that.
Everything
all
from
that
RJ just
trying to
being
back
forced.
out and restart up. I love the
think
fact
he
he
should
be looking for Mitch on
Play
that little
off
curl.
of those guys.
I love that.
Play off of those guys.
I think he should take a page out of Josh Hart book and do the dirty work and let the game come to you and do all the things that a blue collar do. So I that, in my opinion, and as you said, look for Mitch even more and do some more playmaking. So, you know, I honestly feel so. You know, he shouldn't be looking for his shot right away, but, you know, try and concentrate on the defense and make plays and play off of the ball and let it come to you.
I think he need to go back and look at what he was doing year one, because that's exactly how he was playing, Stafford. What you saying right there. RJ wasn't playing so selfish the way he showed. You know what I mean? It's like he trying to validate himself. I guess with that contract, with Jalen Brunson being here, that I'm that dude. Dude, everybody know you that dude. You the 3rd overall pick for the New York Knicks, man. You ain't got nothing to prove. They done gave you a contract. Just go ahead and be one of the guys. Trust your teammates, share the ball, play defense, rebound, assist, because he's great. He can pass the ball. Stop trying to do too much. And stop going 3-on-1, man.
That's a fact. Be having his blinders on.
Right.
Like a deer in headlights.
You see Robert Williams be blocking the shots every time we play the Celtics, but he want to go in there and feel like he's Superman.
Yeah.
I don't know if is he trying to be Superman. I think he's trying. I don't see him as a selfish player. I just see him as somebody who's really struggling. I think he has good intentions. It's just not working out.
No, Queen, sometimes he could be selfish because numerous times he has the open to pass the ball and he doesn't. And you will see sometimes he will bring up the ball and go straight to the basket, not even looking and stopping to see who's behind him or try to make an extra play. He goes straight to the basket. And what happens? He get a block shot, or he just throws up the shot and feel the ref is going to call a foul.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
But
So,
that being said, he's really good going coastal. He's just not finishing, but he's getting to the basket on those plays.
It's
He's
not,
just
it's not selfishness though. It's just I think the IQ is lacking a little bit.
Yeah, certain situations.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, if you're taking on three guys, you know, try to score on 3 guys. Listen, there are 2 guys open.
Yeah, that's common sense right there. Let you know, hey, if somebody's open. But I do love to see when he come off that curl and he find Mitch for the alley-oop.
Mm-hmm.
That's all day.
Well, that's IQ because whoever's guarding Mitch is coming to cover him.
Yep, exactly. Trying to stop that penetration.
Yeah,
as that
by then it's too late.
Yeah.
So, Queen, I got a question for you, man, because I came to an observation on it too. You know, typically we all know this, man. As long as we've been watching basketball, all of us, everybody in the chat. When you're talking about championship teams, normally that third option is somebody who's efficient on very minimal shots.
Right. And
that, I think, for RJ, because truly RJ in nature, to me, he's more of a volume scorer. You know, he can look efficient tonight.
Right.
Then the next night, and that's been true to form since
Right.
he's been on the Knicks. That's who. It ain't just this
In
year.
high school.
That's who he's been.
Yeah.
And so my thing is, I'm wondering, will Leon Rose and them hope that he becomes consistent, or are they going to try to do something the end of this season? Because Julius Randle and Brunson, them guys ain't getting no younger.
I mean,
RJ the youngest one, and when you factor in what's supposed to be our big three.
right. I don't know if the Knicks would be shopping him. But I think if something was to, come along,
He's the one to go.
I think out of those three, I think he would be the one to go. The other team wants him. You know what I mean? Because if he's struggling for us, the other team sees that as well.
True.
The other team sees that as well.
So, Queen, let me ask you another question to man's point. So let's say Joel Embiid calls for a trade and he wants to come to New York. Which one are we getting rid of? Are we getting rid of Randall, or are we getting rid of RJ?
I think you would have to. I don't see Randall and Embiid as a good fit. I don't see those two guys
They do the same thing
at all.
But then again, RJ.
So are we keeping? So are we keeping RJ in that scenario?
No.
Yeah.
But I think they would probably keep Julius because of the fact Julius can score in multitudes of ways. He just don't play in a certain area. He can score from all over, so he can get out of Embiid's way. And it's funny you brought that up, Stafford, because that's the talk right now. That's the talk that if that thing goes south in
just
Philly,
play in the post either.
Yeah.
He plays all over as well.
Yeah, he plays all over. So I think they could find a way to make it work, especially with Brunson at the helm. But
so you're saying that how with Joel and Randall, we could play inside out with both of them, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're still getting rid of RJ.
Yeah.
Him, Obi, Fournier,
Mitch probably.
Mitch will be gone because
you
don't need to have Mitch if you got Embiid, and plus you're gonna need that money to try to match whatever contract Embiid getting. And RJ, it would make the deal in 3 first rounders. It'll be a done deal. And then I didn't know, he has ties to CAA too, to Leon Rose.
Well, if we want Joel Embiid to request a trade, all we have to do is eliminate Philly in the playoffs.
And I'm gonna tell you, I think Philly's gonna get knocked out.
We already into trades and in the off season and
after we knocked them off though, we got to knock them off first.
We got to do.
We go into the playoffs already. We talking about trading trades
for Embiid
for the off season. Shout out to Paris Duggar. RJ's a part of this ride. He will adjust to a role.
I hope so.
It seems like RJ that since the All-Star break, that seems to be the case. So, I mean, he's turned the corner since the All-Star break. Let's see.
Yeah, I give him that. He do look better. But Queen, I'm gonna tell you what teased me off, and I think I might have told Boogie this when we had talked in private. I'm gonna tell you what teased me off, man. See, my thing is, man, don't start showing up defensively because somebody else come in your house. You know what I mean? Where was this defensive effort at up until Josh Hart got here?
Sometimes we need that.
And we are, but you know what, though, Queen, I hear what you're saying. But do you like that in a player? That it takes somebody else coming in
I get what you're saying.
To make you play like that when you have shown that you can play defense. You see what I'm saying? And I have been saying, I'm like, why this dude playing defense like this, man? He ain't been playing like this up until this year.
But Ron, that's the thing. He never had nobody. He never had no small forward to come in and push him like that.
But this
you got to remember when he came in, he had nobody to push him. So now Josh Hart is here now.
But think about this. I remember when I had that show, and I remember RJ defense, man. We was talking about RJ as a two-way player,
right? But
all that has disappeared up until now. That Hart's came on this team, and now, but it ain't no secret to me. I know why. Because you hear them footsteps in the dark, and I ain't talking about the Isley brothers. You hearing Hart behind you, baby. You know what I mean? That's why you playing defense hard, and I can't respect that out of no player. And I always say, man, if you can play offense, for players who got great footwork and can play offense, you can play defense. Defense is a want-to, and a lot of players don't want to play defense. That's why I love Quickly. Shout out to Quickly, man.
But this is what I will say about RJ, though.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have good footwork. And
yeah, you're right. He don't have that.
Josh Hart is here. Maybe his effort has picked up, but his defense is still not good. The guys are still blowing by him because he just doesn't have. He just doesn't have the foot. He just doesn't have the foot speed, and I don't think that's going to change. Maybe it's because of the weight he put on. Maybe he's trying to get he was trying to get stronger. He just doesn't have the foot speed he had as a rookie.
Yeah, one.
But I could definitely see that the intensity is up, the activity is up, but he's still getting blown by. I mean, because I think it's just he just doesn't have the lateral quickness.
I can take you getting beat if you're trying, but in the past it looked like RJ wasn't trying, man. That back door was open so much, man. Looked like he was leaving food out for the neighborhood dog.
That's true. Anything else other than RJ? I think we didn't spend our requisite amount of time.
Real quick, I wanted to I know we talked a lot of crap on this person, but I figure I give love to Mitch before we get out of here, because Mitch has actually been balling since he came back from injury.
Double doubles.
Four double doubles.
And that's exactly what our knock was on him. Well, people who had problems with him in the past was his defensive rebounds and him not averaging, double-digit rebounds. But since he's came back from that injury, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he got fresh legs or what, but he has been balling.
Jerrell, people had
11 points, 12 rebounds.
People, why don't you say Queen Steph had problem with him for not getting defensive rebounds?
No, it wasn't just Steph. It was me too. Like I
SK
Mitch like that.
CSK.
Yes, sir.
Jerrell wanted to put iHeart to start in front of Mitch at the beginning of the season.
Right.
Let's go back way when we just started about that. When we get iHeart, because we think they thought iHeart would have been a better fit in this offense.
Okay.
And he even went as far to say that he wanted the center that plays for Charlotte right now to come and play for us.
Okay.
You remember, Jerrell, when it was the draft?
Staffer, let's not act like Mitchell Robinson was playing lights out.
Yeah,
like
he's
he's
not
playing
shot.
lights out now. So you taking how he's playing now and applying it to the beginning of the season.
Right.
Playing
I'm throwing my darts at Jerrell. This ain't got nothing to do with you.
If you're gonna hold on,
the same way.
but if you're gonna throw a dart at me, you gotta at least be right, because it wasn't Charlotte. It was the dude that plays on Detroit. His name is
No, it was both of them. You are a big North Carolina fan, right? You wanted Marvin Williams too, right? Am I lying? Yes or no?
Duke. Like he
Duke, my bad. Not North Carolina.
Staffer.
But so what
okay.
though? I still probably would have said the same exact thing back then.
Right. You can't compare. And people do this all the time. Somebody start balling right now and they want to bring a receipt from 2 years ago and be like, "Oh, 2 years ago."
My receipt is this year, Queen.
But I'm giving
understand,
you.
but it's still the past, though. You comparing how Mitch is playing right now to the beginning of the season.
And before this,
Yeah, but I was the advocate. I didn't wanted that. I wanted Mitch regardless in the starting rotation regardless. But we were talking about he's not getting enough defensive rebounds. That was the whole topic.
And he wasn't.
He was arguing about it.
But he wasn't
Getting them now, though.
And he's
getting them now. And so we're saying that, okay, he's getting them now. Okay.
Yeah.
Last show, you remember we talked about Jalen Brunson. I'm like, I didn't want to pay him $100 million, but right now I'm like, yo, give that boy a raise. Give him more money.
I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't an advocate for that move when we was going out to get him, because for me, I was looking at this Knicks franchise. We was in shambles. I mean, it looked like we was starting another rebuild the way this thing was looking, because we tried to be a up-tempo team, an offensive team with a defensive-minded coach when they brought Kemba and Fournier in here, and that thing failed. You had Alex Burks running the point guard. I'm like, man, and then it looked like Julius was on the way out of here. I mean, the team was in shambles. I'm like, man, Brunson ain't gonna fix these problems. You know what I mean? But the dude came in there, man, and it's like, my goodness, like he just waved a magic wand, and I don't believe in no magic. You know what I mean? So
tremendous job.
And the reason I'm giving Mitch props now, because before this, he still wasn't playing like that. He still don't average 10 rebounds now, Stafford. He's just been averaging that since he's gotten back. He still averages 8 or 9 rebounds a game before that. He was not a good defensive rebounder. For some reason, something has changed. I don't know.
You know what's changed? I think he got stronger. I think that's really what it is. He got really stronger because I saw an interview where he was talking about that. He was like, I'm 260, 270 now. He's
carrying it well. Remember when he put on the weight, he wasn't carrying it well.
Yeah,
he's carrying it much
better.
He
was moving slower and everything.
And plus,
Jerrell, you know you my guy. I got to take a jab at the Giants fans. You know that.
This is what we do, Staff. I'm good. This is what we do, Staff. I'm definitely good. And plus, I think one big thing with Mitch this time, he got hurt. It wasn't a lower leg injury.
Yeah, it was a freak. It was a freak
finger.
accident.
So I'm pretty sure, like, he was still obviously not game shape, but he was still able to keep himself in shape because it was a finger. That's all.
Yeah.
But like before, he was hurting his feet, his knees, stuff like that. So it always took him a while to get back, but this time it's different.
Yeah. Well, we still have somebody, our communities, our children, who's still holding out hope that RJ will be a star. In my opinion, I think that boat has sailed, but it's more about him being a really good NBA player. But she thinks she or he, I'm not sure. RJ Barrett will be a star in the NBA, player development. Knicks have no patience for it. That has always been a problem. All right.
I tell you what, if RJ become a star, and I ain't making no joke, whoever that is, Queen, and if you have your show and when he become a star, I'll buy RJ jersey and send it to him and a hat.
Yeah, but you know what too, man.
And I ain't even cutting no jokes.
Because just because what's his name took 6 years, I'm gonna give RJ at least 2 more to see what he could be.
Hold up.
The problem is we need him to perform now with the team.
That's the problem.
In 2 years, Julius Randle, all those guys will be 2 years older.
Timeline.
But I mean, Giannis wasn't a star within 3 to 4 years.
Giannis was number 1 though.
Yeah, but he peaked at year 6. So I'm not saying I'm on the same track. I don't think he's gonna be a star, but I'm willing to give him that 2 years to see if he could figure it out again. And I know it's an excuse. And I don't.
Let me bring this up. Because people say this all the time about Giannis. There's a difference, but like the first few years in the league, Giannis was. This is 4th. He might have peaked in 6, but let me just read his 4th year stats: 22.9 points a game, 1.9 blocks, 1.6 steals, 7 rebounds, shot 52.1% from the field. Let me see his free throw shooting. In his 4th year, he shot 77% from the free throw line. So people talking about he popped in this as if he was just averaging like 5 points a game, and then in the 6th year, he broke out. This guy, even in his 3rd year, 17 points, 1.4 blocks, 1.2 steals, 7.7 rebounds, 72% from the free throw line, and 50%.
Right.
So you saw a steady incline in his from year to year.
By time
it wasn't like he was averaging 10 points a game, and then in year 6.
No, but Queen, right now RJ's averaging 19.9 points or something like that, right? Every year his average has come up, right? Am I right or wrong?
No, he's been right around the last 2 years, right at 20 points a game.
Right.
He's leveled off.
So I mean,
Giannis was an all-star in year 4.
Well, I can't fight that one. I can't fight that one. But I feel like RJ's. I don't want to crap on him, but I feel like
I get that too, though.
You understand what I mean? Give him a next. I think he still has a next level to get to. So I feel like a year or 2, we should still give him a chance to see what he could be. If after that it don't turn out how it is supposed to be, so be it.
But
And plus,
hold up, Stafford. Hold up now. 'Cause we running a business here. If you're the front office, you running a business. You can't just buy a stock and be like, I'm just gonna hold it for 20 years, and if it don't pop into something, so what? Because you're losing money. You gotta hold on. You have to be able as a front office to know when to get off of something. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that the time is now, but I'm saying there's consequences for holding long, and there's as well as consequences for selling early.
So put on your GM hat right now, Queen. If he doesn't perform in the playoffs, are you willing to move off that stock?
Depends on who we're talking about.
Right.
Who because it's not like, stocks you could just sell and you ain't got to buy nothing else. And with a player, you have to trade. So basically, if something comes across your desk, you got to ask yourself, damn, do I think this guy is going to pop 2 years later and let this slide? Whoever that player is who came across your desk, or am I cutting my losses because I just don't think he's going to be that? That's how you have to think. You can't just hold forever.
Yeah.
You got to.
Think about it this way. We was talking about going to the Eastern Conference Finals with RJ. So if he's not that dude like that, yes, I would trade him. If we're going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals with him,
I'm going to tell you what's my determination.
Mighty better so we can win a chip.
Well, that's why I said
Jerrell,
2 years, because remember his money is sign-on money is kicking in next year. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm willing to give him another year or two to see what he could do. Now, if that stock ain't fulfilled within the 2 years, of course, I'm trying to probably get rid of that stock.
But you're gonna have a decline in value, though. That's what you got to think about. If the value declines, you're not gonna get as much.
And I tell you this, for me, the caveat is, for me, if I'm the GM at the end of the season, if I'm watching, like RJ, we just agreed, he's been playing good these last 4 games, right? If I see him do the roller coaster that he has been doing this whole season, and then he gets in the playoffs and stink it up, I'm not waiting until next season. I'm going to have to move off of him, because this team, there's a window for all teams in sports to win a championship. Because that's ultimately where these front office guys trying to get. They ain't happy with just getting to the playoffs. We trying to win the chip. And the window is small. It's a small window between the time that you can win it, and it's definitely a small time when you can just destroy your team too. You know what I mean? By holding on to a player that you should have got off of.
Correct. And our communities, our children, the Lakers cut their losses with Randall as well. They should.
And they won a championship.
They got LeBron and they got a championship. A lot of times when you move on from a player, it's not because you don't think they're going to be good. They're just not going to be good in your timeline. Right. Once you got LeBron, that changed the timeline. So why would you keep a Randall and wait 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years to see if he might become who he is today? It's timeline. Timeline is important. The next timeline is changing right
because
now.
of Brunson. Brunson came in and changed that.
It's the same thing where Eddie F asked us that question earlier in the show about the roster, but he named RJ specifically, RJ and Obi. It was a reason for that, because those are the two people or the two players that do not fit our timeline right now.
In terms of their development.
Yeah, in terms of their development.
Where they at.
Like, it has nothing to do with how good they're going to be. They're not good right now when we need them to be.
You know what, Jerrell? If we would have done what everybody thought we should have done in the offseason, where a lot of fans, me included, was like, the way we were looking, hey, just let Quickly go ahead and see if he can take them keys and be that point guard.
Right.
Hey, it would have been fine to still sit there and wait on RJ. You see what I'm saying? Right. But now that you done got this guy in here who's a bona fide bucket go-getter that shows out in the playoffs, and Brunson and Julius Randle playing better than he did in the MIP season, oh, man, you talking think about it. We weren't even in the playoffs. Where did the Knicks finish last year in the East?
Right.
You know what I mean? And this year we sitting in the 5th seed, but they hit the 4th seed. Come on, man. That thing is accelerated. Bigger than any of us thought it would.
Yeah, it definitely moved things ahead quickly. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Tibbs will play RJ based on merit in the playoff. I mean, Tibbs is finally coming around, because remember, RJ had the longest leash on the team, it seemed like.
Absolutely.
Since the time he's come to the team. He's
my
never had to worry about nobody pushing him. He's always started. He could shoot 0.2%. He's still in the game and nothing, you know.
right.
This season is the first season where you got to sit in the fourth quarter. You can't play you in overtime. And I think that was another reason why Tibbs was probably in that office 24/7 saying, give up whatever you got to give up to get Josh Hart because I need to have some options.
Right.
You know, the Knicks
Yeah.
get a first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad you said that because you know, I gave some love to Tom earlier, and when you talk about that draft pick, I want to give some love to Leon Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that should be also mentioned in Executive of the Year. He should be getting votes for that because when you go back and look at all the things he done did, you know what I'm saying, they stand out. First, you didn't get rid of Julius. You brought him back. Julius stood out. Okay? You went and got Brunson. It stood out. You know what I'm saying? They come at the trade deadline, went and got Josh. That stood out. And the last thing is, how did this man know to give them our pick and know that we're going to be better than Dallas? You know what I'm saying? Let that marinate. Dallas, we were about 4-5 games better than Dallas. But he gave them our pick. So that Dallas pick is gonna be better than what we would have picked. So Leon,
that's a good point.
Yeah, Leon did some slick things that been overshadowed because he's so quiet. He's not loud, you know what I'm saying? You wonder what he's doing, if he's doing anything. But every move he don't made this year stood all the way out. And look where we are today. So I know what old boy, I know Sacramento, they making some noise, you know, back to what, you know, Josh is saying, you know, but them executive moves, hey, me and Man, you say it all the time when people say, yo, it's the off season. No, it's the on season. When they ain't playing basketball, the offices is working. And it's harder to make decisions under all them millions and millions of dollars. But it's easy to go out there and play basketball. When you got to make the right choice, the right decision for a hungry franchise with some thoroughbred fans, it's a lot of pressure. And he kept Tom. So, hey.
They making up for last year, though, Jay.
Not saying he's going to win it, but maybe we should give him a little bit of, you know, some
he definitely deserved some consideration for executive. Yeah, definitely.
Or maybe most improved front office or something like that.
Yeah,
that point about the giving him our pick instead of Dallas is a good point.
That's a good point.
And also the protection. You realize Dallas is top 10 protected, so we're probably gonna, and ours is top 14 or top 15 protected. So we're probably gonna get a better pick. Even though I was pissed that we gave him ours. I wanted to give him like Washington or one of those top 18 protected or something.
But it probably wasn't going to get done with that.
Yeah.
And Tibbs was probably in there because, you know, what's the guy that's from Utah? He probably didn't want to give it up.
Oh yeah, you talking about Danny?
I was a fly on the wall. No, came from Utah. Who's in our?
What's his name?
Walt Parent.
Is he the one in charge of it, or is it the guy from Cleveland? One of them probably didn't want to give it up, and I can see Tibbs in there now, like, oh no. Y'all gonna have to give up because they probably wanted to give up the protected picks, you know. And Portland was like, "Nah, we're not doing that for."
And there's another thing, Queen, that people ain't think about too. Oh man, why y'all give this to get Josh Hart? Well, that thing goes further back. Tibbs wanted that guy in Minnesota, almost got fired from Minnesota for banging the table when the dude was coming out of college. And this is the thing. On top of the fact, the Knicks had to do what they did to get him now because the Knicks would not be able to sign him in free agency because guess what? We got his draft rights. We got his bird rights, rather. So we can go over anybody offer to keep him. That's why they did that deal because they said if the Knicks would not be a player to get this dude in the offseason when he opt out of that deal.
Work, Leon.
Smart move. Smart.
Wow, did Josh say that?
Where does Josh come
Really,
from?
Josh?
If
Josh
Josh
went to sleep,
if
woke up,
Josh
and
is-
became a different person.
right, is Josh?
Is he
Are you
trolling?
trolling?
He's
Because I
trolling.
don't think you believe the Knicks are going to the Eastern Conference.
Exactly. I am shocked.
I'm
Yes,
shocked about that.
See, it's after midnight stuff. That's what it is.
Josh, you had a little henny.
His YouTube account got hacked.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I think he drinking too much of that Navy water.
RJ hacked his account.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Knicks did it, but I wouldn't be disappointed if they get past the first round. Knicks get past the first round.
Yeah, they're gonna play Cleveland. That's what it's looking like.
But are we playing Cleveland with home court?
Home
Yes,
court.
I was just
Home
about
court.
to say.
With home
I was
court.
just about to say.
Hold on, we
With
might
home
not
court.
want home court. I don't know if y'all seen what
That's
our
true.
home away record is. We actually probably might play better if Cleveland had home court.
Nah, bro. I think we like 3 games over 500 at home, bro, or 4
They
games.
done won the last 6 at
We've been
home.
playing better at home, Jerrell.
Let me see. We are at home. Oh, we're 19 and 15. We taking it up a notch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 4 games.
3 weeks ago, it was not that.
Yeah,
though.
3
That's
weeks
what-
Oh
ago.
yeah, 3 weeks ago they were trash at home.
we was bad at home. Like, yeah.
And Cleveland hasn't won in the Garden. We have beaten them both times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And look at that. We're a game and a half behind them, 2 games ahead of Brooklyn, 3.5 games ahead of Miami. Wow.
And guess what else, Queen? We
Mhm.
got the dude that knocked Donovan Mitchell out of the playoffs last year.
Yeah, we do. And now
Well,
he
like
gonna be
in
able to
business.
but he might be able to match him point for point, you know?
Like I told y'all earlier, we might need to stop worrying about Cleveland because they get ready to get out of Dodge. They get ready to try their best to go past Philly. They get ready to pass them, but they don't want to play us.
Oh no, that's a bad matchup for them.
Philly might dump down, feeling they got a better chance to us. We don't know how to see what's going on.
Right.
But I do know one thing, that I like our chances against whoever we play in that first round.
Oh yeah, you and me both. I think
Long as it
Philly
ain't- I don't want
plays in our
Boston
hand
to
too,
walk
J
in that
Boogie.
first. Huh?
I think Philly plays in our hand too. And you know why? Because Philly like to play that slow down game too. So that plays right. You don't want to play the New York Knicks if you got to play that grind them out defensive game. You don't want to have to play us, man. You better be a team that can run up and down the court and hope to score before our defense can get set.
Yeah.
And
Josh-
they ain't got no bench. They
Exactly.
don't went back to put Maxey in the starting lineup as of the night.
Yeah, and I think the Knicks are going to take it to another level come the playoffs.
Well, that's scary.
Yeah, Josh said he's not trolling. He's excited just like everyone else. I just feel like the Knicks have so much momentum right now. Every year there's one team that scares some folks.
And that's us.
And this year, this year is us.
Yeah, because everybody asking, are we real? Is the Knicks real?
It's real.
You know what I mean? Everybody.
The only thing I'll say is this does remind me a little bit of 2 years ago when we had won 10 straight and we was, real excited about the 4th seed, even though it was us, Miami, and Atlanta kind of tied, but through the tiebreakers or whatever, we got the 4th seed, and then we ran into a buzzsaw.
Because remember, we
what
swept Atlanta that year.
No, we're a different team.
Remember, we swept Atlanta that year. We was 4-0 in the regular season against Atlanta. Then they cut us down in the playoffs.
And Dave McMillan was trying to get a job, and they was playing to get him a job.
Yep.
You know what I heard somebody said earlier too? I don't know if it's one of those podcasts that this team reminds them of the 1999 team where Patrick Ewing was injured.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really have a superstar, and we went straight to the finals with that team. Do y'all feel the same way?
It's very similar.
You know what I
It's
remember
very
about
similar.
that team? We swept the Atlanta Hawks. It was a terrible beatdown we give them in 1999.
We had to beat the first.
Yeah, I heard they still
we
got
had to beat the first seed to
Knicks
do
a
that.
rest for that too.
Yeah, that's true. We had to beat the first. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to beat the first seed to do that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Hey,
That's a
I'm
good
getting ready
question.
to jump off. I got an early appointment in the morning.
Yeah, me too.
Before we go, I just
Yeah, wrap
want
it up,
to
too.
give y'all my thoughts. I like us tomorrow, 111, 104 in Miami. But
Nice.
I'm putting this game on Mitch, Josh, and Jalen Brunson. It's on y'all three because we already beat them without y'all. So I look at y'all to make sure we handle our business against Miami tomorrow. Because Quickly and the rest of the gang did their job against Miami without y'all. So y'all guys have a great rest of your morning. I see y'all, when I see y'all best way we can. Blessings to y'all. Happy Friday is here early already. Enjoy yourselves.
Bless up, J Boogie. Bless up. Bless
Yeah,
up.
man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we out of here anyway. So let's take last words, and then we're gonna play Jay Boogie's video, The Biggest, as we go out the door. Any last words?
Nah, man. Salute to the chat.
Julius.
You already know how we do.
Julius
Yes,
Randle
salute to the
is a
chat.
star. Julius Randle is a star, Queen.
Listen,
He's a star, and he's Julius Randle is the tone setter for the New York Knicks, man. He's a tone setter. Him and Brunson, man, and then both them guys. We got 2 stars on this team, and they're gonna make a name for themselves in the playoffs, and push their stardom even further. You know what I mean? Stars are
That's
born
where
in the
it's
regular season.
it's solidified in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, it's solidified in the playoffs, and that's when we start talking about superstar status, depending on where you make it. So hey, they're a star right now, though. That's for sure.
Let's be 11 games over. Tomorrow, let's go 38. Make it 11 games over 500. Let's get an 8-game winning streak. Tom gonna have those boys focused and ready because it's a division rival, and we know that Miami is a sleeper, so we can't underestimate them.
No doubt about it.
So let's go down there tomorrow in South Beach and snatch their souls again. So
Yeah, man.
No doubt.
let's get a big win tomorrow and be prepared for Boston on Sunday. Salute to the chat and salute to everyone on the panel. Queen, much respect.
Definitely.
I'm with you. Now, I was gonna say, I feel like we have 80 to 90% chance of beating the Heat. I'm not worried about them. Sunday, I don't know why everybody think we're gonna lose to Boston. I think we're gonna beat them on Sunday. It's very tough to beat a team twice in a week. Listen, we're gonna sweep the floor with them. Okay?
Now we're gonna sweep the floor. I like
Sweep
that.
the floor.
You're right.
I like Mad AJ.
Yeah. I hope you're right. Listen, we need 6 more likes to get to 100. All right.
Come on.
Man.
Come on, people.
Yeah.
It's
if you have
Smash
it,
that like button, man.
It's 122 people and it's 12:30.
Hey, Queen.
yeah, appreciate y'all. I
Hey,
appreciate y'all.
y'all
Right.
hit them like buttons, man. Subscribe to the channel. What you waiting on? Hey, I'm about to check out on this phone, but I'm about to go ahead and hit the like button right now.
I appreciate it. All right, I'm playing Jay Boogie's video on the way out.
Out of here.
Peace, family.
Peace and love.
I heard a rumor. This guy right here, Jay Boogie, presenting Knicks in the booth is gonna be fire.
Hey.
They say we everywhere. We all over the place. If you don't see us, that means you ain't nowhere. You heard? We all over. The headline of the city, the post paper, the daily paper. Everywhere in the city, Knick Chronicles, baby. Let's get it. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. It's game time, tell them, yeah, we outside. You know my voice, the young Mr. Walt Clyde. They say this year we blessed, there's some new hope. I'm courtside next to Tracy Morgan Road. We so official, every game is sold out. You see the fans, stars, them carpets rolled out. I'm on this track, NBA and a Bleach report. Don't even ask for a short, this ain't a Newport. Flash report, tell them this is just in. You see Max outside, just don't let him in. I walk the streets every day with some grown men. I go left, cross back like I'm Brunson. Who that is? J Boogie, I'm so nice. I need a little bit more than yesterday's price. When you see him, you tell him, your boy, I'm locked in. I'm well surrounded with fans, we in the garden. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. If you ain't orange or blue, then you can't relate. I had them toxic boys that air your Twitter space. A lot of people right now, they on clickbait. I had your forehead looking like your Stephen A. All the real creators be on the podcast. Take a look at the chat, you get my broadcast. The forecast is scattered with a lot of rain. My floor poison, pill jerk by Danny Ainge. New squad, new season, it's a new team. Shout out to Harlem Girl and Miss Geraldine. Play the youth, the kids, they gon' play hard. For 4 years, I just signed a 9-guard. The way we look right now, this a Nick thing. I might bring with the flow, so this here bang. Shout out the real ones that'll stay loyal. All the Nets fans, we know it's disloyal. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you come to the city and play for the Knicks, you're gonna get the biggest and most appreciated love. We the best people it is in the world that's gonna support our squad, support our team, you dig? We the biggest.
New York Knicks, we are the biggest. This is Jen from Knicks Army fans, and I want to let you know right now, if you didn't know before, New York Knicks, we the